It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, San Diego. Welcome in on this Tuesday afternoon. Tony
Who are we
Jr.
working with today, Skraby? Jerry Seinfeld?
I don't know.
Could it be Jerry Seinfeld? It could be Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's what I
Mrs.
thought.
Doubtfire.
Oh,
yeah.
Welcome into Gwynn and Chris on this Tuesday afternoon. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Skraby, Padres back into the win column. Michael King off to a slow start in yesterday's game, had to kind of grind through 3 innings, got back on track, got through 6, and none other than, I would say, the front runner right now, Jackson Merrill for the National League Rookie of the Year, did what he does best. In a big moment, he shined. A 3 bases clearing double is what put the Padres up for good, and the Padres look to win, get back into winning series with a victory today. They can do that. And the matchup today is Mr. Uber, I believe. Bailey Uber, the 6'9" righty.
He is
for
a
the
tall drink of
Twins.
water.
Tall drink of water taking on Martin Perez. Padres looking to get the second game of this series. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Doing very well, Tony.
Skraby, take me out of the backstage, sucker.
I can't ever see you down there. Okay, there we
There
go.
we go.
Tony doesn't like to be in the backstage.
Well,
No.
because he can't.
Figured
He's
this
just
out.
there.
Well, he has to show off his T-shirt. He's got the City SC. You know, you want to hear something crazy today, Tony?
What you got?
What you got?
We walked in. Craig Elston's wearing the same shirt you wore yesterday.
Yeah, the beach ball shirt.
Tony,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
playing
yeah,
the
yeah,
beach
yeah.
ball.
It's a good.
Yeah,
It's a
really?
good
It's a
shirt.
good shirt.
It's a good
Good
shirt.
shirt.
And it was suggested by Craig Elston and agreed to by Mr. Skraby that since you do a nice job with your T-shirt selection, people write in all the time, where did Tony get the shirt? What does that mean? What's it all about? That maybe, I ought to start wearing some T-shirts and bringing something to the table. So here you go for today.
A blank.
The good plain white
white
I
tee.
got nothing. I got nothing.
Looks
but I'm
like
gonna
it's
have to
been
work.
washed maybe 150
I'm,
times.
all right,
All
149.
Yeah, it's eggshell white.
149. I'm gonna work on my T-shirt game now that we have the challenges out there. So we'll see what we can come up with. But I'll tell you what, Tony, Jackson Merrill, incredible, and I don't even think Paul Skeens. The roles are reversed completely. Whereas it was Paul Skeens' to lose at the All-Star break. Now, I don't think Paul Skeens can do anything about the fact that Jackson Merrill is doing so well. And I don't know that he can keep up with him, but we're talking about, Rookie of the Year, and it's way too early to be doing that. The good news is the more that Jackson Merrill does this, the more we can focus on the stuff that he would rather focus on, which is winning and getting into the playoffs and winning a division title. And, this guy just, it's not amazing anymore. He comes up in all these situations. That was an 0-2 pitch, was it not, Tony, last night?
Yeah, too bad changeup. They left it up enough.
Yeah.
He made them pay.
Yeah, 0-2 pitch.
I mean, listen, I think clearly he has put himself in a good position in terms of the Rookie of the Year stuff. There's still plenty of baseball. And I'm not even entirely sure that it's specifically a 2-guy race. I mean, Jackson Cherio for the Brewers is all of a sudden had himself a pretty darn good season. He's got numbers that are similar, not as good as Jackson's for sure, but also a guy you got to talk about. Padres, I think ultimately them winning these games is making the conversation actually harder for Paul Skeens. I mean, he did start an all-star game, but his team is faded fast, and there's a chance that they end up shutting him down before the end of the season. And we'll wait and see how that goes. But in terms of Jackson, his effect on this team and what he did last night, it was kind of business as usual for him, right? I mean, this is not anything that we've seen different. And by the way, he didn't miss. He missed out on a homer to left field by not that much. It was a click out in front of his last at bat where he flew to right field. He seems like he's dialed in at the plate. I mean, even the pitches he fouled off before he doubled. Fastball at the top of the dome, he seemed like he was right on. And then he expanded the zone. He was a little upset at himself at swinging at the 0-1 pitch, but he was on that too. And so he's in a good spot right now. Padres get a nice win. I thought Michael King was excellent. I mean, that's how you win games at the major league level. I mean, he didn't have his best command at all first 3 innings, but he stayed with it. He was frustrated. You could see it in his face through the first 2. But he stuck with it. And then next thing you know, you look up 85 pitches, 6 innings of work, 4 hits, 2 runs. He walked 3, but he struck out 6. He just battled. And then you hand it over. It's a 6-inning game because right now you hand it over to whatever combination you want right now, whether it's Adam, Scott, Suarez, whether it's Morty Hone. I mean, even Yuki's thrown the ball a lot better here as of late. And so, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody in there. Did I say Morty Hone? Yeah, I think I said Morty Hone. They've got a pretty good thing going right now, and yesterday was just another example of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Adam, my goodness. It didn't even look like he was facing major league hitters. With the ease he struck out those 3 Minnesota Twins batters. And, Tanner Scott starting to pick it up now. I think he's getting comfortable. Suarez, for him, had a little bit of a hiccup. I mean, guy pulled a double off him down the line. Actually, I changed my mind. It was a single because Manny Machado raced down into short left field and played the carom. Not bad for an old guy who never hustles, huh, Tony?
Yeah, man.
That was a nice play by Manny, and I want people to notice it. All of his critics can kiss his you-know-what on that play because he made a nice hustle play there when it had to be made. So
the reality is Manny is one of the smarter players in baseball in terms of just understanding situations, finding ways to put himself in the right spot. That's kind of what Manny does, man.
That was a good play. Good play, but the bullpen is fabulous. I want to go back one last thing on Jackson Merrill, and here's what I noticed, Tony, and correct me, you've seen all of this a million times too. The kid comes up, the game, it's the 3rd inning, but it's a key moment. There's 2 outs, the bases are loaded. It's an 0-2 pitch, so he's up against it. And as you said, they leave the changeup up in the air, and he crushes it to left center field. Now, that was a double all the way. I don't think there was any question in anybody's mind it was going to be a double. All 3 runs were going to score, and the Padres were going to lead 5-2. I decided to watch Jackson Merrill as he coasted into second base because I was sure that the 3 runs were going to score. But you know what he did not do, Tony Gwynn Jr.? He did not coast into second base. He rounded that bag, and he was thinking about taking 3 if that throw home had bounced even a foot away from the catcher. And then he went back to second base when the ball did not bounce away. This is the kind of unseen greatness in this young guy that makes me really, really love to watch him play. I think just about every other big league player, and that includes some of the best, would have coasted into second base with their 3-run double. It was a big play, big moment in the game. He was still thinking about taking 3rd if the throw gets away. That's how this kid thinks. Facts? Nothing?
Boom.
Did I lose Tony there?
No, you got me. I don't know if every I think most major league players would be looking to take the extra base if they had it, but kudos to him, man. I mean, that's what makes Jackson I think that's why the veterans like him. He plays
the
guy
right way.
He just plays baseball the right way. Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, I that is something you should be doing. I think most of the guys on this team that we watch every day are in that position. I think that's why this team is as good as it is. It's not just one guy that's playing the game right. It's all of them that are playing the game right. It's very rare that we are pointing out something. All of the mistakes they normally make are aggressive mistakes. I can't think of any mistakes that have been made from lack of hustle, lack of being ready. It's always, man, they probably shouldn't have tried to take that extra base, or they probably shouldn't have tried to stretch that into the. Those are the type of mistakes they make, and when you're managing a team, you certainly like those mistakes more so than you like the the ones where it's because you're not ready or you didn't get out the box the way you should have. And I think that's what Jackson did in that specific play you're talking about is just indicative of what this team has done as a whole this entire season, which is why they're 71 71 and 55 on the season. And this is why they've gone on the run they have in the second half of the season.
Yeah. Don't look now, everybody, but the Padres, to if they only go, and I'm saying only because I think as things are going right now, most people would expect them to finish much better than this. But if they only go 19 and 17 in their last 36 games, they'd get to 90 wins. And 90 wins is something that I don't think any of us were even thinking about, when the All-Star break came. It was just survive, try to get into the playoffs any way you can. Now, 90 seems almost like a foregone conclusion. And how many more over 90 can they get? That's how great they've played for a while here.
Yeah, no, they've been on an absolute heater, as they like to say, as we like to say. And that really wasn't, and the crazy part, it really wasn't that great of a game from the Padre offense. I mean,
no, they went to bed after the third inning. Everybody went to bed after the third inning.
They had, and listen, the one thing they did again last night, they took advantage of the air. They had those 3 runs that Jackson brought in were because of a misfielded ball at first that led to that inning continuing, and then Padres doing what they do all year. They made a team pay for the mistakes. But that being said, it wasn't that great of an offensive output for them. It wasn't what we've become used to seeing, yet they're doing what good teams do. They found a way to win. Somehow, some way, whether it's an error that opened the door to it or not, they found a way to win, and now they're got a chance to win this series today. As I said, Bailey Ober versus Martin Perez. Padres looking to get that second victory. No lineup yet. At least I haven't seen one yet. Let me refresh this. Yeah, still no lineup yet as we wait to see what happens here, Chris.
Well, here was the strangest thing about last night's game, from my perspective, is after the third inning, the game had already gone an hour and 10 minutes, and I was settling in for a long evening. By the ninth inning, it was 2 hours and 10 minutes, and the game was over.
Yeah.
The last 6 innings went by in the blink of an eye. I don't think the Twins had a base runner from the 4th inning until those last 2 guys got on base against Suarez in the 9th.
That's accurate. Looking at my scorecard right now, they went 3 up, 3 down in the 5th, 3 up, 3 down in the 6th, 3 up, 3 down in the 7th, 3 up, 3 down in the 8th, and then they had a little action in the 9th.
Man. Michael
King showing his chops. Remember, this is his first full season as a starter.
Yeah.
He was going back and forth last year, which is part of the reason why they're paying attention to the innings. But I think he showed his chops last night as things got weird in that first inning. He wasn't commanding the baseball. He walked a guy in the first, walked a guy in the second, hit a batter in the third, walked a batter in the third, and then settled in nicely. Got a quick 4th. I think it was like 8 pitches, got a quick 5th. It might have been even less at that point. And then it was just, then they brought in the chainsaws, and Jason Adam proceeded to strike out the side. And it's just it's a lot of fun to come to the ballpark and just watch good baseball.
Yeah, and
that's really what it boils down to.
The Twins are good, and they looked overmatched against that bullpen. Jason Adam can't be this good. If he was this good, he'd never give up a run. I mean, did you see that? I mean, you've seen big hitters look bad before. Those 3 guys looked with no chance with what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, he faced was it
8-9-1, I think it was.
Yeah, Vasquez, Martin, and Castro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had them twisted up pretty nice. I think the other thing for you to pay attention to is because listen, now you guys know I'm against scoreboard watching, but the circumstances have kind of forced you to look at the scoreboard a little bit. Diamondbacks, they won yesterday, but they're starting a journey without Ketel Marte for the next 10 days. So how will they be able – because quietly, Ketel Marte had started to put himself in MVP-type category with the way he had been playing. That's a big piece to lose for another 9 days, unless it was retroactive, which I don't think, because he left the game, had to be helped off. So yesterday, I believe, was his first game on the IL. So you got 9 more of those bad boys. How much of an effect? Because the way things have gone between these two, no one's really losing. They lose on the same day. They win on the same day. Can you keep up that pace with that piece out? The Padres have shown all year long when their guys go down, someone steps up. This is, I guess, the test for the Diamondbacks and what they'll be able to do while he's out.
It's a big test because Ketel Marte is going to be hard to replace. The Dodgers did get Max Muncy back last night. He had a home run. Tommy Edman finally made his Dodger debut last night. Freddie Freeman's going to play the rest of the season, from what I hear, with a hairline fracture in his hand or his finger. So he's in there, but not maybe 100%. Betts is back.
What do we need to praise him for that or something?
Well, I would praise him. I mean, I guess he could decide to sit out, but they can't afford it right now. He's playing anyway. But the Dodgers.
You play with a hairline fracture.
Yes, I know.
in your
Anthony
finger.
Rendon and I know Mike. What?
Listen to the guy who
you're making fun of the guy who's actually
listen to
doing
the guy
something
who was
that you want him
angry
to
at
do.
everybody when his shoulder was barking.
It still is barking. I'm still at work, working.
There's one other thing I want to point out. As the Padres bullpen has gotten incredibly stronger, the Dodgers continue to struggle in their bullpen to try to find somebody. The Diamondbacks are searching for a closer now. What's his name?
Seawald?
Seawald lost his closer job about 2.5 weeks ago, and they haven't really been able to settle on anybody yet to replace him. So, this is something that could come into play in the last 5 weeks. Is the bullpen advantage the Padres seem to have right now.
The Dodgers may very well be in better shape. They got Michael Kopech, who has looked pretty good in the Dodger uniform. So they may have some things figured out. Although last night they went back to Phillips,
yes, they
and
did.
he got the save in yesterday. So I think the Dodgers are actually starting to get healthy finally, and they'll be, I assume they'll be where they normally are. The Diamondbacks, though, that's a real question. With Marte out, they don't have the same type of structure that the Dodgers have. Without a Marte in that lineup, can they sustain it? We'll wait and see. Let's get to break. When we return, Martin Perez. A lot of people were a little shaky, not quite feeling what Martin Perez was going to give.
Chris.
Chris was just, in Chris's defense, he was
yeah,
just relaying what he had seen.
I was saying what everybody else was thinking. You didn't say anything because you didn't have the guts to say it.
I definitely have the guts to say it. Martin
We
Perez was on my fantasy team earlier in the year. I had to drop him at some point.
Please,
But
you and your fantasy. Everything's a fantasy for you.
we are well past our break time. Let's get to break. We'll talk a little bit about Martin Perez and the success we can expect. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Join Gwynn and Chris live
stretching out before the segment. Skraby's giving me a look.
Sometimes you got to stretch out before the segment, man.
Gotta get loose. Gotta be loose. Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. Chrisello, that's Tony Gwynn Jr. over there at Petco Park. Skraby over here. Skraby, here's the thing. We have a couple of tickets to give away to Friday's game between the Padres and the Mets. This Friday. A couple of tickets. I want to reward all of you that are out there right now. Early, on time, you're at the show, you're ready to go. I want to give them away. Skraby says, nah, hold on to them.
These are off-air conversations, okay?
Make
the people sweat it out.
He's telling the truth. Chris is telling the truth.
Make the people sweat it out. Make them have to sit around and wait for them. So why don't you
say you say
so
you
why
make
don't
it
you
sound like I'm some
spoken
evil
like
villain.
a true producer right there.
So just an evil villain over here.
Here's the thing. If you're on the chat, let us know. Would you like me to give the tickets away now, or would you like to have to sweat it out for an hour or so and wait?
Well, they're already mad at me, apparently. Apparently, you can't talk trash about Freddie Freeman. I don't understand sometimes the line that I cross. I don't think that's a big line that I just crossed.
I just think you should stop dogging people who are actually hurt with real injuries, especially considering your shoulder is broken right now.
Do you know that there's satire involved in this whole thing where I say, oh, his little finger?
No, sometimes, you're right. Sometimes there is satire. But a lot of times there's a little...
There's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of truth to it.
You just try to disguise it sometimes in satire.
Yeah. While you're at it, Skraby, since you're bashing injured players, you got anything on Ha-Seong Kim for us here? Oh, now he's silent. Now he's silent.
Each injury is a different case. So
now
on the chat, it was.
Well, it's not that.
We praise Luis Ariz for playing with an injury. He's got a torn ligament in his thumb. There's a hairline fracture in Freddie Freeman's finger.
What's worse?
A torn ligament.
I don't
you
know.
You tore your thumb ligament shaking your toothbrush out.
I know, but a hairline fracture that wouldn't be
that
easy to play with either.
I think Skraby hears the word hair and he just assumes that it's nothing.
I've had a hairline fracture in my finger before. I've dislocated my finger. I've broken my fingers.
And you could have played big league baseball.
I can only imagine how much you complained. That's the best word I could come up with on this air. How much you complained about that hairline fracture on your finger. Were you playing football at the time?
Yes, I was.
Mm-hmm.
It was high school football.
How much did you practice and play with the hairline fracture?
I played because I did not want to sit out. All they did was tape my fingers together, and then they made me go die in the practice
Did it
squad.
hurt when you had to block?
Yeah, but I'm also playing football, not baseball.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wearing the glove, putting the glove on, having to close it.
Okay, which hand is this on?
It's on his right, I believe.
So that's his catching
You ever
hand.
heard of, but he had to use both hands to swing a bat, dog.
No, that's his throwing hand. He throws right-handed.
But he bats left-handed, right?
He bats left-handed.
Okay, so he throws right-handed. Okay, I can see that being hard, but he's a first baseman. He doesn't need to throw the ball.
There you go. There you go, Tony.
Isn't that why they put people at first?
Tony, I can't believe you're arguing.
Throw the ball to begin with?
I can't believe you're arguing, Tony, with this perfectly good line of reasoning
yeah, you're
over
right.
here.
What am I doing right
now?
You're
from
at
Mr. Skraby.
right.
I don't know how I crossed all these people, but now I'm just getting more and more hate.
Just a quick note. Today must be Team Picture Day.
They're all out there.
I'll see if I can get my computer can pick it up that far.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Oh yeah, I see the field.
They're all out on the field getting ready. Yeah, everybody's going out in their nice dressy whites.
Nothing like standing in a 90-degree sun.
Yeah, perfect day for picture day. Hey, guys, we got the hottest day of the year. Why don't you pop on out here in the middle of the day? We'll do pictures for a half an hour.
The worst part is they probably had this planned the entire season.
Yeah. They definitely had it planned for this day. And, baseball players are funny. They don't like the routines messed up, so you see everybody just kind of taking their time.
I know, they're not really
there.
in a big hurry to get out there. No update on Ha-Seong Kim. Other than the fact that Skraby probably thinks he's wimpy for sitting out a game yesterday.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, after all, Mike Schultz said everything was encouraging on the MRI, so why wasn't he in there last night, Skrabe?
Because he probably needs a day off. the guy has dealt with shoulder injuries.
Yeah, shout out to Chris yesterday for calling that on air that we were probably going to get close to nothing in terms of...
Get the runaround? We did get the runaround. Yeah, we did.
Matter of fact, it was funny. While we were listening, at some point, I think Mike started to feel like he was actually giving up too much information. So that he kind of was like, I probably said too much at this point.
Yeah, he didn't
in
give
my
us
head.
a
I
whole
was
lot
thinking.
on
In my head,
Ha-Seong
I was thinking like, for the media, you probably no, you didn't. You're good. You didn't say very much.
Too much. Yeah, so we don't. It was very confusing, but we just know Ha-Seong Kim wasn't in the lineup last night. I would not expect him to be in the lineup tonight, but we'll see. The lineup is not out yet. Here we go. We got a Fantabulous Sports game show coming up for you. It's going to be live on YouTube. You're going to be able to watch the combatants go at it today. Skraby against Tony, so that's coming up next. A little bit later, the San Diego State football team announced a historic choice as starting quarterback. Kirk Kenny will run some of that down with us. All the rest of it, and then later today, Padres, Twins. Gwynn and Chris right now on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3. The Fan. Sorry I didn't give away the tickets, but Skraby wouldn't let me.
Okay.
The biggest guest
so caught up in Skraby harassing injured people that I didn't even get to tell you why Martin Perez has been so good. We'll get to it a little bit later because I believe there's a butt whooping that's about to happen.
I think we have a couple minutes for your Martin Perez. Honestly, I think we do because yeah.
Martin Perez been quite the find for the Padres. There was a lot of Twitter concern that, we were getting another version of what we got from Rich Hill when he came here last year. That has not been accurate, to say the least. And he's pitching a lot different. And I'll give you a little breakdown of his pitch selection. He's a sinker, cutter, changeup, curveball, four-seam fastball guy. In that order, with the Pirates, he threw the sinker at about 37%, the cutter at about 25%, changeup at about 21%, the curveball at about 10%. With the Padres, the sinker has gone down in percentage to 23.2 from 37%. The cutter has gone down from 25% to 19%. The changeup has gone up from 21% to 25%, but here's the biggest jump right here. The curveball went from 10.4% to 26.9%. And, and this is why different coaches mesh differently with different players. Clearly, Ruben Niebla was able to see something and had some ideas for him. And remember, I think Chris talked about this yesterday, or maybe it was last week. It wasn't, hey, you need to go do this. It was like, hey, here's some things you can try. And he has gone out. He has tried it. And, you could see the curveball being used more. That's not by chance that he got the Padre uniform and was like, oh, you know what? Let me throw curveballs more. There was probably some evidence that Ruben saw or whatever it may be that led to him using the curveball more, and it's led to more success.
Do they give an award for, an assistant coach of the year, a coach of the year in baseball? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do, unfortunately.
Ruben Niebla's got to win this thing almost every year. He's so good. And you're right, Martin Perez, incredible. His whip with Pittsburgh was 1.65. With the Padres, it's 0.76. Basically gone from the worst pitcher in the league to the best in 3 starts. Now, it's a small sample size. We know that. But 21 strikeouts, 3 walks, Tony? Come on. That's 7-to-1 ratio for a guy that, was really struggling to get anybody out. And hopefully he'll keep it going tonight against the Twins. Game 2. All right, Skraby's ready. Now, he delayed his butt whooping. Anything else you want to delay it for?
No, I'm ready to go.
Oh, you're ready.
Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah.
Play the music.
Okay.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there, it's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right.
We like to call it...
Ooh, I'm going to go.
Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, hi, welcome everybody. I'm the host of the show, Chris Ello. Here we go with today's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. And Tony, I'm sorry about this, but ever since Adam Klug sat in for Skraby and prevailed on a geography category, Skraby has been begging me for anything but a sports category.
That's okay. You put words in my mouth all the time.
It's
sounds about right.
It's gotten so much so that I finally gave in today. So I think will be a challenge for both of you. I think it's an interesting category. This is an election year in our country.
Oh, great.
Hello, guys. There have been 17 men, and only men so far, 17 men have been president of the United States at some point during the last 100 years.
You're such a jerk for this category.
Sorry about that. How many of the most recent 17 presidents of the United States can we name? And that is the way the Fantabulous Sports Game Show will go today. You can play along out there, see how many of them you can get. And the guys will go in alternating order, 3 strikes, and you are out. You could end up getting an incorrect answer here if you name somebody that was president prior to 1924. So
9 came immediately to my mind.
We're looking to the 7.
Wait, we got to start from 19. What was that?
It's over the last 100 years. For example, George Washington would be an incorrect answer.
He doesn't count.
He doesn't count. He was president in the 17s there. So we're looking for from 1924 through 2024, 17.
The 17. That
17
sounds crazy.
guys. 9 will win it for you. Skraby says he's already thought of 9. So we'll see if today is his day to prevail in the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Skraby, you always get to go first if
I'm
you
going
want
to take it this time.
All right, what are you going with?
I'm just going to go backwards. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden? Obviously, that's correct. Tony?
Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Winner? I was just going to try to impress me and go in order here. I don't think this is going to last too long, but let's see how well you can do.
Barack Obama.
All right, so far so good. 2-1, Skraby leads. You guys are doing all right. Tony?
George W.
George W. Tony's on that.
That's Bush 2, right?
That's Bush
George
2.
W. By the way, I'm throwing this in. Last names are acceptable. You don't have to have all their first names.
I assume you guys knew I knew George W.
Yes.
Bush.
No, but that was correct. George W., yes. We made the difference. All right, Skraby?
What about his papa? George Bush. George H.W. Bush.
Thank you, George. That's what I wanted to hear.
George Herbert
Better get it
Walker.
right,
I want to
son.
hear that HW in there.
And then you said last names are fine, but I needed the H.W.
Well, in this particular one.
Got to separate the OG Bush from the younger Bush.
Got to separate the bushes. All right, 3-2. Skraby, we have, 12 correct answers left. Tony.
How about Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton. All right, you guys have not only 3-3, but you've named the last 6. So you guys are kind of going backwards in order here a little bit. Skraby, you're up.
Ronaldo Reagan.
Ronaldo.
Oh, brother. Ronaldo Reagan. Yeah. All right, very good. Reagan takes up all the 1980s.
Yeah.
You guys are doing okay. 7 for 7 so far. I think it's going to get a little tougher. Maybe not. Maybe you guys are just show me that you are history fanatics. Tony.
I believe Herbert Hoover was a president.
Who?
Herbert
Hoover.
Herbert Hoover. Hoover High School is named after Herbert Hoover. He was president from 1929 to 1933. That is a correct answer.
Wow. Ding, ding, ding.
Tony Gwynn Jr. gets the 31st president of the United States.
Herbert
Hoover.
Thought of Herbert Hoover.
He did.
I'm
4-4. That's probably good for you, Skraby, because I don't think that's one you probably had written down.
I actually thought he was just before the limit.
So there you go.
All right, I'm going to go Harry Truman.
Little Harry piece.
Little.
Wait, what?
You guys are having fun with this category. See, it's a fun category.
Little Harry piece.
A little Harry piece. 1945 to 1953 for Harry. That is correct. He was the 33rd president of these United States. Skraby takes a 5-4 lead here. Back and forth we go. Tony.
I believe Franklin Roosevelt falls into that category, that's timeline.
Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945.
Yeah.
He was elected 3 consecutive terms. After that, they put term limits in. He was the reason for term limits. It is tied at 5, and we have only 7 correct answers remaining.
Oh, my gosh, I can't believe I forgot this one. It just hit me.
And
JFK.
JFK.
Don't even try to do that little thing you did.
Well, let me check the chronology on this.
I love when he does an impression of my voice. John F. Kennedy was the president from 1961 to 63. You're okay on that one.
You know, Harry Truman was also the president when the valiant Thor from the Venusians came to Earth. A Venus, a guy
That's
from
right.
Venus, yes.
That's right.
Who didn't know that? I had that in my notes here.
Oh, you have
6-5. Skraby's on top. 6 answers remaining. You guys are doing very well on the list of presidents here. But we're down to 6 to go. Tony.
Dwight Eisenhower.
Dwight D. Eisenhower is correct.
one I was
All right,
gonna do.
Tony's doing well. 1953 to 1961, 34th president. 6-6. You guys might just run the table. There's 5 correct answers remaining here. You guys going to get them all? I'm more than impressed here, I must say, so
Okay.
far. But Skraby
Oh,
seems to
just
be
out of one.
Skraby seems to be struggling slightly here.
I am not a crook.
Oh, you just took it from me.
Richard Nixon.
Richard Milhouse Nixon. That's right. That is correct. Richard Nixon, 1969 to 1974.
Why do we know the first? Do we always do the first initial of their middle name? Because I feel like I know a bunch of.
I
first
know. It
initials.
seems like they just say it all the time when they're talking about them. But, yeah, Richard
That's
Nixon.
what's actually helping me remember some of these, honestly.
Yeah, Richard Nixon, 1969-74. That is correct. Skraby 7, Tony 6. Still no strikes. Only 4 answers remain, though. Presidents during the last 100 years.
How
Guys
about
have done 13 for 13 together here. Very
how
impressed.
about Lyndon B?
Lyndon B.
Is he
Johnson?
the one
Nice
who took over
job.
for? Is he the one
He's
who took
the,
over for
isn't he the
JFK?
last one to bow out of a presidential before this one?
He is the last incumbent, yes, to not run again. That is correct, Tony. Very good. Lyndon Baines Johnson. Again,
Baines, that was
I
his
wouldn't know
middle
these
name,
names
huh?
other than the fact they say them all the time. But he took oath on the plane there in Dallas after JFK was shot. That is correct. 1963 to 69. We are tied at 7 with 3 correct answers remaining.
Ooh, I think I got another one.
This is not my guess.
I think I got another
I
one.
think Woodrow Wilson was earlier.
Woody Wilson,
Yeah, Woody.
otherwise known as Woody at the
Yeah,
time.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
well,
gonna go.
Is that
with,
your guess?
No, I'm gonna go with another Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore.
I don't
Theodore!
know. I don't know when it was.
Teddy Roosevelt.
I can
Teddy
see
Roosevelt.
his picture. He was very plump.
He's a plump guy. Outdoorsman. 26th president of the United States.
That's a little early.
Yeah, it is
Little
early.
early Skrabe. I don't have the timeline in front of me, but he is not
It's a
in the
little
last
early.
100 years. So Teddy will cost you a strike. Let me just... okay, so we're still tied at 7. We have 3 correct answers out there. For the first time, Tony Gwynn... I want to just get the timeline on Teddy Roosevelt for Skraby. He didn't miss it by much. He was president... well, let's see here. Hang on. Oh, yeah, it's 1901 to 1909.
All right.
So you missed it by
Yeah,
about 15
no,
years.
makes sense.
Close.
I can see
1901 to
his picture.
1909.
I can see his picture.
All right, Tony, your chance to get your first lead of the day here. 7-7 tie with 3 correct answers left.
I feel like there's a Ford in there somewhere.
Feel like there's a
Dang
Ford
it,
in
that's
there.
the one that came to mind.
You don't have to get his first name.
I know.
So is that your guess, though?
Yes, that's my
that's
guess.
your guess.
Ford. Yes.
Gerald Ford is
Gerald,
correct.
Yes, yes.
Former All-American center at the University of Michigan. Center as in football playing center.
Huh.
Went on to won All-American honors as a center. Went on to be the president. The thing that Gerald Ford, to me, is best remembered for, you guys may remember some of this, was his ability, unfortunately, to slip and fall down. Every
I
time he
don't
tried to
remember that.
climb up the stairs or go anywhere, and Chevy Chase basically turned Saturday Night Live into his whole career by pretending to be Gerald Ford falling down all the time.
We elected a guy who falls down all the time.
He struggled. I'm just saying he struggled. He seemed to slip a few times. Chevy Chase, of course, took it to monumentally ridiculous
Oop,
heights.
just thought of another one.
Oh, boy.
Me too. I got one more.
All right. It's 8-7 in favor of Tony Gwynn. Skraby.
Carter.
Tony Cotta. James Carter,
Was he a
1977 to
potato farmer?
1981. He was a peanut farmer.
A peanut farmer.
Yes,
that's
he
it.
was a peanut farmer from Georgia, the plains
One
of Georgia.
term.
Yes, 1977 to 1981 for Jimmy Carter. I think Jimmy Carter, yes, he is still alive.
Yes.
Good for him.
He was born in 1924. That means he's turning 100 this year,
Wow.
right? If he
Yeah.
hasn't already
Nice.
turned 100. Good for Jimmy
What a good
Carter.
life for him.
Not bad.
Former president, living
Yes,
to 100.
Live to 100. All right, there's one more to name. You guys have named the last 16 presidents of the United States. The
So
only
this is
one
an
you
old
need
one.
is the 17th guy on the list. He was. I'll give it to you. It's not even no, I'm not giving you the name. I'm giving. He was president from 1923 to 1929. He was the 30th president of these United States. If either of you can name him, you're going to win the game. Unfortunately, Skraby, you have an extra strike. It is Tony's turn first, though.
I know.
So, Tony, you get the first crack at coming up with this to win the game.
So it's an old one.
It's an older one. It's a bit of an older one, yes. 1923 to 1929.
There's a Simpsons episode that I'm thinking of right now.
Well, maybe that'll help you. I don't know The Simpsons too well. Tony, you got a guess here? Ben Higgins has a guess online.
I have a guess, but I'm gonna hang on to it.
You're gonna hang on to it and just.
I'm gonna take my ant right now.
Just gonna take a buzzer.
Oh, he's gonna play the game.
Gonna play the buzzer game. All right, he's taking a buzzer. He's giving you the opportunity to win the game here, Skraby.
There's a couple that float around my head. I know James Buchanan is not part of this list.
James Buchanan.
I know Polk is not a part of this
Just
list.
give us your guess.
Well, there is a Simpsons episode where they talk about this guy, and his name is Calvin Coolidge.
Really?
Yes.
And how did they talk about him?
I think he got it.
They bring it up in I can't remember why they bring it up, but the name Calvin Coolidge came to mind.
That's what I was thinking. I swear that's what I was thinking, but I was like, no way you're going to get this.
The 30th president of the United States from August 2nd, 1923 to March 4th, 1929 was Calvin Coolidge.
Wow, I tied it up.
That's no, you won it.
Wait, I thought I was tied.
No, that's ball game right there. 9-8. It's over. That was the 17th one.
It's all over.
Skraby wins today's Fantabulous game show with Calvin Coolidge.
We'll always remember you, Calvin.
I can't believe The Simpsons is what saved you for it.
Stupid Simpsons.
I can believe The Simpsons.
Yeah, I guess I can, really. Do you remember anything more about the episode? Because nobody knows anything about Calvin Coolidge.
I feel like they were doing something where no.
I can't remember.
Maybe
anything.
like they visited a Grand Canyon. Did he build the Grand Canyon or the?
Did he build the Grand Canyon?
doubt he
Did
did.
you
That was
ask that?
stupid. Did he? Okay, that was pretty dumb. Did he? He didn't build the Hoover Dam because Herbert Hoover.
No,
built
Herbert
it.
Hoover would have been probably
He
part of
built
that.
the Grand Canyon.
Was he in charge of the FBI? I don't know why I know Calvin Coolidge, but I know Calvin Coolidge.
I don't know what I'm looking. I'm
I
looking
know
him up.
Herbert Walker was in charge of the CIA.
I'm looking him up to see what he might have been famous for. There's not a whole lot here. So, all right, Skraby is the winner today. It's Calvin Coolidge.
I can't even win on the chat. They're like, "Oh, you cheated."
What? No, you got it, man. You got it through The Simpsons. That's classic. And you also beat Ben Higgins.
His presidency saw a period of economic prosperity known as the Roaring *20s.
Aha!
Oh, flappers and prohibition and all that.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
he let drinking in. He was a hell of a guy.
No, I thought he banned drinking.
Oh, he banned drinking.
Right? Isn't it prohibition
know.
during the 20s?
I don't know.
I don't know. His emphasis on reducing taxes and government spending.
Very good, Calvin. You are the guy.
Why can't we have a Calvin Coolidge
Ben
nowadays?
Higgins was playing alongside with you, and he guessed the wrong guy, Warren Harding, who was the 29th president.
Warren G. Harding.
Yeah, so you beat Ben Higgins at this game
G.
today
Harding.
as well. That's correct, Skraby. You're right.
That was good. I enjoyed that one.
It wasn't
I enjoyed
so
that
bad, right? President in an election year. Hope everybody had fun with the Fantabulous game show today. Skraby wins! Stop the presses. Gwynn and Chris returns. of our coverage, Padres baseball, and other worldly topics. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., down at Petco Park. Matt Skraby, today's champion in the Fantabulous Sports Game Show, which today had a little different category. If you're just tuning in, the category was for these guys to name the 17 men that have been president of the United States during the last 100 years. It all came down to one last selection after Tony passed on his opportunity. Skraby came up with, thanks to the television show The Simpsons, a reference to Calvin Coolidge, who was indeed the 30th president of the United States from 1923 to 1929. Says here that Calvin Coolidge had a taciturn personality and a dry sense of humor, and that earned him the nickname Silent Cal. Well, he's spoken loudly here today as Skraby wins it, despite a lot of conjecture on the chat that you
No, Katrina is
that
telling
you
me
cheated, and I'm like, come on, people. I'm sitting right here with him. If Skraby cheated, he would win one of these once in a while.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
He's certainly not cheating.
Katrina on the chat has gone crazy for, or not gone crazy for me, but
She's happy for you.
Defending me because she said, Skraby, there were a few references. One of Monty Burns' dates referencing him knowing Coolidge, and Grandpa has a poster of Coolidge. There's also a reference from Principal Skinner to Bart. And so there are multiple references of Calvin Coolidge.
If you watch The Simpsons. Well, that worked out for you. Ben Higgins likes to play alongside while you guys are playing. And with one answer to go, he wrote exactly this to me on a text. If they get Warren G. Harding, I'll be surprised. Harding was the 29th president. He was just before Coolidge, but he died suddenly in 1923. So he didn't make it to 1924. Thus, Warren G. Harding didn't make it to our list.
I'm impressed that Ben knew that, though.
He did, and I said it's Coolidge. And so you beat out everybody today, Skraby. Congratulations.
I would like to also recognize Jocelyn and Maria for being on my side while everybody else was
I don't know why you guys are giving him a hard time out there. Believe me.
I'm a champ, and
you're a champ today.
And I know I'm a champ.
You are a champ today. You're also hilarious today because you tried to reference the fact that, yes, I believe Calvin Coolidge was the guy responsible for building the Grand Canyon.
I meant the Hoover Dam.
And everybody has jumped in, noting to Skraby that the Grand Canyon was not built by any one person or any amount of people.
No.
The Grand Canyon was basically formed by nature and the Colorado River winding its way through that canyon there. So, are
you sure?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Someone told me it was Jesus.
It's or him.
Yes.
According to this, what it says here when you Google who built the Grand Canyon, it says not built by any person. So there you go,
I
Scrag.
definitely knew the Grand Canyon
You did,
wasn't
huh?
carved out.
Are you sure you didn't think somebody carved the Grand Canyon? Want to remind everybody, more of this fun, not tomorrow, but Thursday. Tomorrow we have a very short show, like 30 minutes, because the Padres are playing a day game. But Thursday we have a big old show, and Skraby and I are going to be out there live at Casa Octavio on the corner of 10th and J. It's right across from Petco Park, so you can't miss it. Corner of 10th and J. We start, obviously, the show at 2 o'clock. We'll be out there all afternoon till about 5:30. And if coming to see us isn't enough for you, we're going to be giving away 3 pairs of tickets to that night's Padres-Mets game. So make a day and a night out of it Thursday. Come on by, hang out with us at Casa Octavio. And then hopefully you'll win some tickets. You can go right on over to Petco Park and enjoy the game. For the rest of you, I do have a pair of tickets to give away to Friday night's Padres-Mets game. And I will do that shortly. I'm not going to let Skraby hold off much longer on that.
I was about to say, we should give those away now.
We're going to give it away shortly, I say, because right now it's time for you and I to do a little daily Gambit number.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Before we get into what we did yesterday, baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile and you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch.
All right, before we get too deep into the Daily Gambit, I do want to tell everybody Ha-Seong Kim not in the lineup tonight for the Padres. We'll try to get an update again here from Mike Schilt, but don't be surprised if he doesn't tell us anything again today, similar to what yesterday brought us, which was very little information.
I'm going to derail us a little bit. But
Go ahead.
I was thinking about this walking lucky this morning.
Okay.
I don't have an issue with not knowing what is wrong, like,
right?
Because we all have the privacy, with our doctors.
That's fine,
and I understand that they're playing sports and it's part of the deal. But like, because they don't tell us exactly what's wrong with the shoulder, I don't have an issue with that. That's for Ha-Seong Kim only.
Okay, but what I think is important for us, and I think what we should know a little bit more is the timetable for how long these guys are going to be out.
Okay,
and I don't think it's a worldly secret, to say, well, Ha-Seong Kim's probably going to be out 7 days, but I really don't want to tell anybody that. Why not? It really isn't that big of a deal. It's not changing,
I agree with you there. It might change the
political landscape of this country.
It might change
if Ha-Seong Kim is
philosophy.
sitting out for a week or so.
It might change where,
Nah.
I understand that part.
I don't know. Mike Schilt did what every manager does yesterday, so I'm not picking on him. But what I'm saying is, when everybody's asking, what's the deal? What do we know? What don't we know? And basically what he tried to tell us is that they just found out like 30 minutes ago that the MRI was this and that, and they really haven't had time to figure it out. It was just hard for me to believe that. It just was. Finding out what's wrong with Ha-Seong Kim is far too important to this franchise to just kind of go willy-nilly on this thing.
Have you ever heard of an NFL player, and I have heard of this, where an NFL player gets injured and they say, well, we don't know until the swelling goes down?
I've heard that, but I didn't hear that yesterday from Mike Schilt.
But that's, I guess, something that's another one of those things where that's a private matter.
Well, fine. All right, then you know what? Let's stop covering the team altogether. It isn't a private matter.
Wait, what?
Well, we're fans of the team. We have media that covers the team. We want the information because we care. So provide a little of it. That's all I'm saying. You're right. Nobody would care Ha-Seong Kim's injury if nobody covered Major League Baseball. But the fact is we do.
I get it.
So we care.
I understand.
It matters to us.
I understand wanting to know how long someone will be out for.
Well,
I do
that's all I'm
understand
saying. You're right. You're right when you say, I don't care what his injury is. I mean, I hope the guy's okay.
Yeah.
But if it's an impingement or a jammed shoulder or a torn this or a, broken that, that is neither here nor there to me. I do want to know how long he's going to be out.
Do you have the rest of the lineup?
I do.
Okay. Is there any differences?
No, not really. Arise is DHing. Profar, Cronenworth, Machado, Bogarts, Merrill's in center, Peralta's in right, Campusano's catching tonight, and Tyler Wade is back at shortstop.
All right.
And that's, again, going to go along with some of the discussion you had yesterday with people on the chat. If Kim is going to be out, I think Kevin Acee did ask Schilt and get a little bit of a leading answer on this yesterday, and that is if Kim is going to be out for a while, Padres most likely would not just continue to sub Wade in every night.
Yeah.
They eventually would start, most likely, and again, we have to guess because we don't know, we haven't been told, but most likely if Kim's going to be out a longer period of time, Cronenworth will start playing shortstop, and Arise will start playing first base, and Solano will DH. That is if Kim's going to be out a while, but I don't know if they're ready to say that. No transaction has been announced.
No transaction.
As far as we're putting him on the injured list,
now,
etc.
They can retroactive to yesterday because he did not play yesterday.
They could announce on Friday that it's retroactive till Monday or
and
whatever.
I don't know this totally, but I think you have like 3 days from when they're not playing to retroactive it or something.
Yeah, I don't know all those rules.
All right, let's get into
that was
the
a good daily gambit. I'll tell you one thing, man. Woo, we really raced through that, baby.
The first one would be we bet on over under 6 innings for Brandon Pfaadt yesterday. Both of us said over. Both of us were wrong. He went 5 1/3. They still won the game though,
and he got the win, so it was an okay day for him. They have a rookie catcher. Del Castillo, I believe his name is.
I saw his name pop up.
Yeah, he came in for the injured Gabriel Moreno.
Okay.
Gabe Moreno, and he's had 14 RBIs in his first 9 games, including a grand slam yesterday. So he's been quite a find for the Diamondbacks. Maybe they'll start talking about him for Rookie of the Year instead of Jackson Merrill.
All you need to qualify apparently is like 5 games played. So, Padres over under total score last night 7 against the Twins. We both went over. We were both correct. It was 5-3.
We can thank the last guy up for the Twins. Got a base hit, and knocked in that last run.
Don't know who you are, but I thank you.
Yes,
sir.
There was people celebrating. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sports books everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
When that guy got that hit, forget who it was. I think it was Vasquez. Got that shot down the line that Manny hustled and held to a single because he ran out into short left field to retrieve the ball. Mm-hmm. For all the people that say Manny doesn't hustle.
Dodgers were -1.5 on the run line over the Mariners yesterday. We both picked the Mariners. We were both wrong because the Dodgers won 3-0.
Max Muncy returned with a home run.
Oh, I can't
Not only
believe
returned, but he hit a home run. Yeah.
Didn't Gavin Lux hit a home run yesterday,
Gavin Lux hit one, too. Gavin Lux has had a nice second half after an awful first half.
Well, let's hope it's not too nice.
Okay.
Michael King over under 6.5 strikeouts yesterday. We both went over. We were both wrong. He went 6.
Just missed it.
And then I got to ask you about this. Jakob Sinner and
Yannick Sinner
and Tiafo over under 22.5 games. You went over. I went under. It was under. It was 21 games. But I kept getting push notifications this morning that Sinner has tested positive for steroids, but he's not being removed from play.
Yeah, this is a weird one. Yannick Sinner's the #1 tennis player in the world, right? He's #1. He's even ahead of Djokovic in the rankings now. He apparently tested positive for steroids twice.
Ooh.
And in recent time, but I guess they have ruled, and he says, thank goodness this is kind of behind me, I guess they have ruled that the positive test came from a massage therapist or something.
I'm sorry.
I'm just, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Don't shoot the messenger.
I mean, obviously there's something
They determined that the
correct about
banned substance entered his system unintentionally through a massage from his physiotherapist.
So if this is true, then every other athlete that has said this, it could be true.
Right. Everybody from now on just has to say, oh, no, I got a massage from my physiotherapist. That's how this must have entered my bloodstream.
Wow.
Because he has gotten away with this.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
And Sinner, as you know, you wonder about this a little. I guess people could, conspiracy people like you could think he's the top-ranked player in the world. You're going to knock him out right now with the U.S. Open starting in a week and a half.
Well, yeah, because that's the rules, Chris.
I didn't say they shouldn't. I'm saying they determined that he was okay.
I get it.
But I see what you're saying, Skraby. I think there has to be a little bit of question around this thing.
I'm going to have to trust the tennis people.
And here's something that I think you will find interesting, all of you out there.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay? Sinner tested positive for low levels of a metabolite of clostebol.
Oh.
It is a banned anabolic steroid that can be used for ophthalmological and dermatological use. Here's the line that you're going to like out there. It's the same drug for which Padres star Fernando Tatis Jr. was suspended by MLB. Something to think about.
Hold on, you just turned this all around.
On its head, right?
Because he said that he used a cream, right?
Who?
Fernando.
I don't remember what Fernando said, to be honest with you. I don't remember.
For like ringworm or something.
Oh, yes, there was something around the ringworm. I do remember that.
I guess you still have to check what's in it, but That's very interesting. If the tennis people don't think it's a big enough deal to suspend him,
Yeah, maybe Fernando got suspended erroneously. Or maybe
Wow.
you could argue that one way or the other.
I'm going to leave the charge to sue Major League Baseball for stepping
I think
all over his name.
It's a little. It's kind of a weird, ugly type direction to go. I wish there was no such thing as anybody ever trying to cheat by taking stuff. I just wish it would all go away. But the fact of the matter is, they have to keep an eye on this stuff because guys and gals do try to get an edge. But if Fernando used something that he rubbed, on his body, right, some sort of lotion or cream absorbed through his body, and he was suspended by baseball for, 80 games? A long time.
Yeah, something like that.
And here's the number one tennis player in the world, apparently had the same stuff enter his system, but they're saying it unintentionally through a massage from a physiotherapist. Fernando probably should have said, no, I got this from my physiotherapist in a massage.
Well, that excuse didn't have happened yet, so he didn't know.
I know, he didn't know about this excuse.
I'm not going to say that there's a conspiracy here, but I will say it's interesting.
Yes, it is a little eye-raising,
Yes.
eyebrow-raising.
Yes. As Tony would say, get your tinfoil hats on and your antennas in the air. I think we need to go to break and make bets
We'll
on
do the
other
rest
side.
of the big Daily Gambit when we come back after traffic. And in the next segment, I'm giving away the 2 tickets to Friday night's baseball game, I promise. So stick around for that.
From the
All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 3:23 is the time. Chris Hello. Tony Gwynn Jr., of course, at Petco Park. He will be in and out of here. He'll join us a little later for the Big Five. We also have an interview with Kirk Kenny coming up, one of our good contributors to the program, Kirk, with the latest on Danny O'Neill. Yes, get to know that name, Aztec fans. Danny O'Neill is the first true freshman ever to be named opening day starter for the San Diego State football team.
This has me very excited for no particular reason, but I think it's
Yeah,
exciting.
right. Yeah, it's good. The whole Sean Lewis thing has been good, right?
It has
Since
been.
day one.
Now we're going to actually see whether or not his
Yeah,
coaching
we'll
backs
find
up
out.
his
We'll
talk.
We'll find out. But, look, I want him to do well. I expect him to do well, but I don't want to put too much, in the way of expectations, just in case they're going to stub their feet there. They're playing Oregon State. They're playing Cal. They're playing Washington State, Boise State. They got some good opponents here. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, kind of are so wowed by Sean Lewis in a good way that it's bringing expectations to a higher level than maybe they should be. I mean, like, they were 4-8 last year. I know there's a lot of transfers and new coach and new quarterback and new everything, but going from 4-8 to, say, 12-0 is, not like an automatic. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's definitely not automatic, but it can be done in college football.
I guess so. We'll find out. We'll find out starting in about 11 days for that. All right, tonight's Daily Gambit.
One thing before we go into
I'm going to
them.
give the tickets.
Okay.
I haven't forgotten, but I'll try again to forget.
Okay.
You're 2-3, by the way. I'm 1-4. After yesterday's action,
I'll take it.
I want to just say that we're the only show and the only people anywhere who actually give our records on this stuff. I watch these TV things, the gaming shows, the experts,
gambling,
this
ESPN
guy.
Bet.
Oh yeah, this guy, that guy. They all make picks, but they never tell you how badly they did.
Here's
we at
something.
least stand up for it.
So here's something
Scrabe.
that I've done in the past with the guys in the room. I'll write down some of those expert bets, and then to us, we'll share the next day if they got it or
Right,
not.
but
And a lot of the time, they don't get it.
Of course they don't get it. If somebody could just go on TV and tell you who to pick and you picked it, we'd all be millionaires.
It's true.
But it doesn't work that way. New York Liberty -11, Dallas Wings. Liberty have the best
we're
record in
into
the
it. We're into
WNBA. Thank you.
Liberty and Wings.
The Wings are clipped mostly. They're not having a great season. The Liberty are running away with things in the East. 11 is the spread. I believe it's in New York.
I'm going to go with Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
Seems like the Liberty. Yeah, they're playing well. Las Vegas Aces, Minnesota.
Wild.
No.
That's the hockey team.
That's the hockey team.
Lynx.
Thank you. I know that. It just kind of didn't pop into,
Okay, that's not an easy
into
one.
place. Vegas is the defending champs, right? 2 years in a row. Minnesota, I think, is having a slightly better season. I'll take Minnesota plus 5.5 here.
Okay.
But Las Vegas is home and favored.
I'm going to go with the Aces at home.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Minnesota, sticking with Minnesota. How about this?
Minnesota.
It's a little surprising to me. Twins are favored tonight by 1.5 over the San Diego Padres.
That is surprising.
I think it has something to do with Bailey Ober. He's
He's been pretty good.
6'9" right-hander, is a good pitcher for the Twins, and maybe a little lack of faith in the surprising Martin Perez.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you think here?
I'm gonna have
You're
to go with the
working in San
Padres.
Diego. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I don't. This is not me being a homer. I think they're going to win.
I think you got to pick the Padres because that chat can be ruthless.
No, and I
over
also
there.
think that they've been playing so well, it makes it easy for me to pick the Padres.
1.5 at home. It
That's
makes
an easy
sense to
bet.
take them. Bryce Miller is pitching tonight. Did you know
Oh,
that?
wow, I didn't know he made his debut.
Making his debut.
Bryce Miller of the San
And
Diego Union
yes,
Tribune.
the other Bryce Miller from the Mariners is going to be writing a column in the paper tomorrow. Either way, somebody named Bryce Miller is pitching for Seattle tonight. Walker Buehler for the Dodgers. Buehler. Over under 9 runs. Buehler has not quite figured it out yet.
No, but he's getting better.
The Mariners are just, they really can't hit. They got shut out again last night. They strike out endlessly. But Buehler, I'm going to say, is still struggling. I'm going to go over and just kind of clench my teeth. Because 9's a lot.
Judging last night's 3, I'm going to go under.
Go under again. Okay, one more. Zach Wheeler's pitching tonight for the Phillies in Atlanta. He's one of the stalwart pitchers in the National League. 12 wins this year. 6 1/3 innings. Over under for Zach at Atlanta. 6.1. He'd have to get 6 2/3 to win.
The Braves are hanging in there, but their lineup is not what it once was.
It's disintegrating. Austin Riley now 6 to 8 weeks.
I think I'm going to go over
for Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
I'm going to say under. I'm going to say he has the Braves give him enough trouble to get him out after 6 innings. All right, we'll see how our picks do tomorrow. Now let's see how you do with a chance to win a pair of tickets to Friday's Padres-Mets game. That's right. I got a pair of tickets to Friday's Padres-Mets game, and I'm not going to use them for myself. Skraby's not going to be able to use them for himself. We're going to give them to you. But you have to call in to win them. Padres are making a push for the postseason. Grab tickets at padres.com/tickets. You better start kind of getting those early now, because I'm noticing there's 40,000 people at like every game.
Yeah.
It's really quite the scene. You're going to have to answer a trivia question. So if you're calling in already to win, forget it.
Ha-ha.
Skraby's going to hang up on all of you.
I just ha-ha'd. I don't know why this...
I know, you're so mean, but we don't like people to call in until I've at least given the question.
Yes.
And I know everybody...
No one follows directions.
Nobody follows directions. Everybody calls in early. So if you've called in, you're better off probably hanging up and trying
Someone
again.
wants to know what area the tickets are. I know what area. In the stadium.
Yeah, sorry. What? Are you going to turn them down, sir or ma'am, if they're not
I'm telling you, Chris,
good enough for you?
For the Skraby game that's happening tomorrow, many people were very nice, but there's a couple people that just won't answer my emails back, so I have to give away their seat. I'm like, you signed up for you're getting a free game, and you just won't reply?
People are weird, man. People are weird out there. All right, here is the question. The Padres are playing the Mets. Yesterday, we asked you who was on the mound when the Minnesota Twins clinched their first World Series championship. Today, we'll ask you who was on the mound when the New York Mets clinched their first World Series championship. It was the Miracle Mets of 1969. They beat the Baltimore Orioles, who got the final out for the Mets when they won their first World Series. The first person with the correct answer to that question at 833-288-0973 will go see the Mets take on the San Diego Padres this Friday night. Call in now. And we'll come back with more Gwynn and Chris and Kirk Kenny on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and Wood.
And I do. Try Spiro's. It's authentic Greek Mediterranean cuisine. Coronado, La Jolla. Also out at Petco Park. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com or win a couple of tickets to the Skrabinator baseball game tomorrow. Man, Spiro's has set you up.
Yes. I am so excited to say that Spiro's is awesome to our show and to our station all the time.
Yeah.
But they heard me talking about last week how the food is on your own. And they contacted me to ask if I would like for food to be in the suite. And I said, yes, but, there's no budget. And they're like, don't worry about it. We want to take care of the Skrabinators. Awesome. We want to take care of the listeners. So they're going to be bringing Euros. What is it? The Horyatiki bowls?
Yeah, Horyatiki. Yeah, all this stuff.
All the stuff. And so I'm very thankful for Spiro's. And so make sure you go take care of them because they take care of us and listeners.
But they're so good. I mean, you're doing yourself a favor. They're on the third base line there near the main concourse near the Western Metal Supply Company if you're going to Petco. But yeah, it was really nice of Sharon over there.
They've worked really hard on this too.
They always help us. They always do. They really do. It's fun to deal with them because they're family owned and operated. You don't have to go into the corporate stuff. But yeah, they heard that Skraby had his big Skrabinator ticket day in the suite tomorrow. And they called you and said, hey, let us make sure we provide some food for all the winners.
Yeah, and that's amazing.
So that's really cool tomorrow.
Originally, all I was like, I think it would be good just to have like pita bread and hummus because I didn't want to impose too much because I obviously wasn't going to have.
They're not going to give you that. No. They're going to give you the whole shebang.
People are going to be eating Spiro's in the
It'll be good.
Yeah,
go to So congrats to everybody who listens to Skraby's Chronicles.
Yeah.
And who won tickets to the game through him tomorrow. Also, congrats to David out there who won tickets to Friday night's game. We're giving tickets away all over the place, Scrape.
Yes, we are.
David knew that the pitcher on the mound when the Mets clinched their first World Series championship was none other than left-hander Jerry Koosman. Pitched a complete game in Game 5 of the 1969 World Series. As the Miracle Mets shocked the Orioles 4-1. Final out was a deep fly ball to left field, caught just in front of the warning track by a guy by the name of Cleon Jones. I was going to ask that, and I thought, that's going to be too tough. So I didn't go with Cleon. But I will tell you this. Cleon Jones caught the ball on the left field warning track and then had to run through thousands of fans that poured onto the field to celebrate that World Series.
That's so crazy.
He had a difficult run to get back to safety in the dugout after that.
Yeah,
those were the days when everybody just went on the field after every match. And it was, you know what? A couple of people got hurt. So what? It was so fun. I think they finally...
a couple of people got trampled. So what?
Yeah, well, I say so what. That's right. It was fun for like 20,000 people. So 2 people got hurt. That's a good percentage as far as I'm concerned. Sorry to... what was the guy? The kid on Duke who got bumped into by a Wake Forest fan last year. Remember him?
He plays for the Jazz now, and it's a whole thing because his girlfriend apparently stole him from his family.
That's not what I was bringing it up for, but Kyle something or other. Bob Bollinger will text me in a minute.
Oh, Filipowski.
Yeah. Well, poor Filipowski. And wasn't Caitlin Clark, I think, got touched after an Iowa game.
She took a dive, though.
She took a dive. So did Filipowski.
I know. Adam just ran down the hallway to tell us, okay, we got to do this.
This is breaking news.
We were getting to it.
Oh, is he that upset that we didn't tell everybody?
I don't know what's happening, but he literally just ran down the hallway. I know. We know. We were just getting to it, okay?
Look, everybody on the chat who follows, who's on Twitter every second probably knows Ha-Seong Kim is indeed going on the injured list.
10-day IL.
10-day IL for Ha-Seong Kim. Shoulder injury. May have seen that he hurt the shoulder on Sunday trying to get back to first base on a pickoff attempt against the Colorado Rockies.
Matthew Batten.
Yes, Matthew Batten has been recalled. The Padres say for now they're hoping it's not longer than 10 days, but they're leaving open that possibility, unfortunately. Tyler Wade is in the lineup tonight. That doesn't mean that they won't start switching things around, putting Cronenworth at some shortstop, etc. We'll see.
I'm happy if they're saying it could be just a 10-day stint.
Hopefully it's only 10 for Ha-Seong Kim.
Yes.
All right.
Well, more to come on that.
But I'd rather talk about Cleon Jones or
I don't know if we
free
should go
food
back
at
to that
Sparrows
anymore.
or whatever we got to talk
I
about.
feel like we're in trouble now.
I know Adam's upset with us. Because, well, look, the news came down during the break. What are we supposed to interrupt the commercial break?
And
come on.
Oh, Tony or Adam was just Adam's okay. Now I get it. He's on a meeting. He's not able to listen to the show, so I get it now. It's fine.
He was running in the back, not to get mad at us.
You know what? I'm going to take away my anger, and because he really was just letting us know that we had some big news. So
we did,
okay.
and we gave it to you. If you're wondering, the Minnesota Twins lineup is in for tonight. I only mention that because leading off tonight in left field for the Twins, one of our all-time favorites, Manny Margot.
Sorry. Say it again.
I told you during the break, be ready.
I know.
Leading off for the Twins in left field, Manny Margot.
Manny Margot just got a haircut.
I miss him.
God, I miss Franmil. I set it up with you. I'm like, during the break, I'm like, have the Franmil thing ready for Manny Margot.
You know what
and
you
you're
need
like,
to do,
okay.
though?
And then I go to it, and you weren't ready.
You know what you need to do, though? You need to go and be like, okay, I'm going to do this first so that I'm not just randomly calling for it after we get in trouble with the boss.
We're not in trouble with the boss.
I know.
We're in good stead everywhere.
Yes.
All right, everybody won Padre tickets. And if you didn't win Padre tickets, come on Thursday. Come visit us down there at Casa Octavio, the corner 10th and J. And we're giving away 3 pair of tickets on Thursday, so you can go see the Padres Mets on Thursday. In the meantime, big week for the Aztecs. Football. Next Saturday is the opener. My goodness, it's that close. And Danny O'Neill is the new quarterback. Kirk Kenny visited with Tony and I a little earlier to get the lowdown on the new QB for San Diego State. Find out about it after traffic.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Robert Half. Just a couple of problems here. 2-car collision on South 163 past Washington Street. They're over to the right shoulder. Also traveling on northbound 5 just before Old Town. We have reports of a stalled car in the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
And indeed, we are visiting with Kirk Kenny from the San Diego Union Tribune. Beat writer, covers the San Diego State Aztecs for life. And Kirk, big news out of Aztec camp this week. Actually, over the weekend, I think you broke the story. But true freshman Danny O'Neill will be leading the Aztecs this year as their new quarterback. Something that has never before happened at San Diego State, where a true freshman is getting the reins, huh?
Yeah, I wrote a few weeks ago. I thought one of the other guys, a sophomore transfer, A.J. Duffy, was the leader in the clubhouse. And if this did come to pass, that Danny O'Neill became the guy, it would be historic, and so it is.
What was it about the young man that really solidified the spot and, pretty much setting history here at San Diego State? What was it about his performance during spring and in the summer and all that? How did that transpire?
Sean Lewis said what kind of set him apart was his accuracy and also just the way he processed things. One thing with this Aztec fast offense, you need to be able to process more quickly than other offenses because they're often not going to huddle and they're going to just try and run plays as quickly as they can to keep the defense on its heels. And so I guess Danny O'Neill showed the ability to process more quickly than the other two. He's been pretty impressive. He graduated early from high school to be here in the spring, and so that kind of helped him get up to speed, and then he showed what he could do here in the training camp right before the season starts.
Give us a little more background on Danny O'Neill. Kirk, I know he's from Indianapolis. Is this the same highly recruited, or am I just way off? Is this the same quarterback that had some contact with Sean Lewis at Colorado? Or because I thought I remember hearing something about somebody following Lewis from there to here.
That is correct. He originally committed to Colorado,
Okay.
and then when Sean Lewis was hired here, Danny O'Neill followed him here. He was a 3-year starter at Cathedral High School in Indianapolis. Led him as a sophomore. He led him to a state title and set several school records before he was done.
So he obviously had a good relationship with Coach Lewis going in. Then I mean, was it Lewis who recruited him to Colorado directly, or?
Yes, I believe so. They obviously developed a pretty good rapport, and I mean, if you're a quarterback and this is the kind of offense that's gonna, I mean, there's going to be some balance to it, but they're going to run more plays. You're going to get more opportunities to pass and really show what you can do.
Obviously, Danny O'Neill's the story in terms of the quarterback position, but this whole, part of the intrigue of Coach Lewis coming in here is that this offense is going to look a lot different than what we've looked like, than what it's looked like in the past. In terms of the skill position, out wide receiver, what is that looking like? What kind of talent is Mr. O'Neill going to be throwing to this year?
I've been pretty impressed. They brought in several transfers, and a couple of those. Well, let me interrupt myself. One thing is, there are 3 guys who are potentially going to start have been injured with some nicks and bruises, but they should be ready for the season. But behind them, there's 3 other guys that we saw in the scrimmage 2 weeks ago, and they showed some skill as well. So I think there's a lot of depth there. The starters I mentioned, one's name is Jashawn Polk, and he's done very well. And then another one is, let me see, I'm mixing up the names here. Nate Bennett came from Portland State. He's been a guy that's done pretty well. And then Lewis Brown, the 4th, some Aztec fans may have seen him. He played last year at Colorado State, and he's done very well as well. And then top returner for the Aztecs is Mekhi Shaw, who a kid who grew up at Scripps Ranch and has stepped out for the Aztecs and done well.
Kirk, do you think this decision Sean Lewis made to start a true freshman, Danny O'Neill at quarterback, does this say anything about who Sean Lewis is in terms of, I don't know, his ability, his willingness to roll the dice a little bit, take a chance? He's starting a new program his first year, kind of get the freshman in there, get his feet wet right off the bat, and, see if he can't make something of this long term?
I don't think he looks at it like rolling the dice at all. People have thrown several different kind of questions at him and what came into this decision. And he kind of was saying age is just a number. He said at one point he was the youngest head coach in football. So to have a true freshman quarterback, he's not really looking at the freshman next to his name. He's just looking at on the field and in the classroom how well he's doing. And he says this is the kid he thinks gives them the best chance to win in week 1. And so that's the kid they're going with.
What is the conference going to look like this year, Kirk? It looks like Boise State seems to be the clear-cut favorite in the Mountain West. Are there some other teams that's outside of the possible Aztecs that could walk up and surprise this Boise State team?
It's interesting because the transfer portal has taken hold so much that, I would say San Diego State has more than half of its roster is turned over, and I don't think that's all that unusual for schools around the conference now. Boise State, I think, has probably been selected as the team to beat 12 straight years. But some of the other ones that people are looking at are UNLV, which last year had its best season in 30 years. They lost their quarterback, who's now at USC, but they have several other guys returning, and their coaching staff seems to be pretty on the ball. So that's a team to watch. Another one will be Fresno State. And then I've been hearing some people talking as well about Colorado State. So those are 4 teams right there that people will be watching. And then you never know what Air Force is going to have from year to year, but their offense can give a team some trouble.
Yeah, they can. Kirk Kenny is with us from the San Diego Union Tribune. Aztec football coming up just about 10, 11 days away from the season opener for the Aztecs next Saturday, a week from Saturday. Kirk, the Aztecs had not a single player, if I'm not mistaken, or not a single player selected to the preseason all-conference team. I think you wrote that it was the first time this has ever happened, or the first time in years and years and years. Is Sean Lewis the kind of guy that may use something like this to kind of challenge his guys a little bit and say, hey, I know I have some all-conference players in this locker room, so who's going to step up and grab it?
I think they could use that for a little bit of motivation, but I think it's more so that, it shows all the transfers going all over and new faces popping up. Because San Diego State, they didn't have any players named to that all-conference team, and yet in their backfield as a kid, he's a transfer from Ball State named Marquez Cooper, and he's the NCAA's active career rushing leader. So I would think that's a guy that might be able to show a little something, and I would think would be, a guy who would challenge to be an all-conference player.
A lot of focus in this conversation, Kirk, has been on the offensive side. On the defensive side, what do the Aztecs look like? Will they be a formidable defense to be able to kind of support what we all hope is going to be an explosive offense?
I think that's a little bit about to be determined. There's a lot of changeover on the defense as well. Key, I think, will be up front, is going to be getting some edge rushers going that can get to the quarterback, and they brought in a couple guys there as well. So we'll see if they can do a little bit there. I think their strength will be in the secondary. Got some veteran leaders back there. And, so many guys that have to come in and really kind of get to know the guy next to them and see if they can mesh pretty quickly. So I think there's some athleticism there. It's just going to be a matter of do they kind of come together and how quickly that happens.
Yeah, it's so interesting because this is now college sports, right? I mean, this is what it's going to be. I have a feeling, Kirk, other than hopefully Danny O'Neill, who's coming, if we're sitting here with you next, this time next year, hopefully O'Neill's back at quarterback. I think we're going to be talking about this almost every year now, right? That teams are going to be changing, and there's going to be all kinds of different players and guys lining up and different, transferring, because this is just the way it is, right?
Yeah, I would completely agree with that, especially at this level. I think I've talked to a few people, and they said coaches need to just embrace that they're going to be feeder programs. It's almost like the minor leagues, that their players, once they have a good season, they're probably going to lose them because some Power 5 school is going to come and throw some money at them and get the kids to come. That's exactly what we saw with UNLV last year. Their quarterback had a really breakout season. He initially said he was going to transfer to Georgia, and then he ends up transferring to USC, which I'm guessing he got a better offer. And so the Aztecs, I think, lost a dozen players to Power 5 schools last season after it was over. And I just think that's going to kind of be the new way. One thing that will be interesting is, will the NCAA try and put any guardrails on it with rules or regulations over the next couple of years? But I kind of believe the cat's out of the bag here.
Yeah, it'll be weird, but I think for this year at least it's a good thing because the Aztecs are coming off a tough season, a season that did not go their way, but with all these transfers and with Sean Lewis and his enthusiasm and now a freshman exciting quarterback, maybe things can turn around very, very quickly. Kirk, thanks so much. As always,
Thanks, Kirk.
Great talking to you, sir, and we'll see you out at the old ball yard, as they say.
All right, guys. You take care.
Kirk Kenny right there, and you got the latest on the San Diego State football situation. I'm wearing my Fernando Tatis Jr. City Connect bucket hat.
He sure is.
Presented by UC San Diego Health. That's because Thursday night, the game we're going to give 3 pair of tickets away to during our live show Thursday night, Padres are giving these away to the first 40,000 fans in attendance.
That looks like a good dog walking hat for
They
me.
will look a lot better on you than it does on me.
Oh, I see. You as in the people out there.
You and the people out there. Yeah, it'll look good on you. I don't think it'll look too good on me, but what the hell. This is it. So Thursday night, if you're not going to the game already, get your tickets. Padres, Mets. Tatis Jr. bucket hat. Next, it's Chris versus the fans. Play some trivia. 833-288-0973. Padres Twins tonight. Matt Skraby alongside. Skraby's got another pregame.
Yep.
This evening. Is Sam Levitt doing the game again tonight?
He sure is.
Back to back for Sammy Levitt.
That's right.
Saw Jesse Agler last night over on the TV side. Worried. May never get his job back.
No, that's not true.
No, that's not true. But
Sam
Sammy's did a hell of a job.
He did. He really
Sammy
did.
called a hell of a game last night. I was able to hear some of it, and he's got the smooth vocal tones.
The pipes.
He does. Like I could announce a game, but I don't have the same.
Strasburg, ready to go.
Yeah, see, it sounds like that, and that's just probably not. The way you make fun of my voice is hilarious.
Strasburg, ready to go.
There you
was
go.
pretty
See
close.
That's pretty close. Pretty close. God, that sounds like it's from like 1845.
And it was from 2000 what?
9.
Strasburg, ready to go.
15 years ago now. Strasburg, ready to go.
Strasburg, ready to go, everybody. When you go to your local Top Hat store, make sure you mention me and you get 10% off.
When you go to your local what?
Top Hat store.
Top Hat store.
Top Hat & Co.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, we're going to play a little Chris versus the fans because we're ready to go.
Are you going to read the prize or do you want to do it on the other side?
Yeah, I'll read it on the other side.
All right.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
Howdy do.
now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
You know, we got a very clever comment on the chat right now about you're still wearing the pink Fernando Tatis bucket hat.
I am.
Nate called you LO Cool J instead
LO
of
Cool J.
LL Cool J. I like
I'll
that.
take that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've been called a lot worse, Nate. Thank you very much.
Yes, you have.
Arizona, by the way, Diamondbacks get on the board in the first. 1-0.
Tell me that.
At
All
the
right.
Marlins.
Here we go. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you are a first-time player, let us know before the first question. You'll get that question for free for today. Chris versus the Fans is presented by SD Fat Loss. Lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Visit sdfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation.
And if you win, you're qualified for the grand prize. 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas and 2 tickets to see Carrie Underwood, The Reflection Show at Resorts World Theater. Carrie is back by popular demand, overwhelming demand even. She's going to be there the rest of 2024 and then in 2025 as well. And you can get tickets for that now at axs.com, axs.com, or rwlasvegas.com. Carrie Underwood, quite the performer.
I like her Sunday Night Football.
I like
song.
Carrie Underwood. Here's my Carrie. Can you see in the chat? Pretend this is the mic. Well, it is a microphone.
Yeah.
This is Carrie Underwood. She's fine,
Okay.
but she drives me nuts because she does this when she sings.
What?
Watch my fingers.
Okay. Oh, she taps the microphone.
But she doesn't make a sound. But as she's singing, her
She's keeping
fingers,
in rhythm.
Yes, but it drives me bananas. Stop it.
Why does that drive you nuts?
Stop
Can
it.
you hear it on the mic?
No.
Okay.
It's like a nervous tick she can't get rid of.
I'm fine with it.
Check it out. See if it drives you crazy.
All right.
Like it drives me crazy.
All right.
Carrie Underwood always has the fingers tapping on the microphone.
Well, when she sings, I dug my key into the car.
Hang on.
Okay, stop. We're going to break
Too
the
much.
microphones.
Too much.
All right, let's get to our first contestant for today. We have Gio. Gio, hello.
Hello. How are you
Hey,
doing?
Gio. How are you?
Good. Are you ready to play?
Doing well. I am a first-time player.
Oh, not only did he say it, he said it. Beautiful.
He said it.
Said
Here
it
we
beautifully.
go,
Thank you.
Gio. You are on to question number 2.
Yes, sir.
Which current Diamondback also played for the Cubs, Dodgers, Braves, and Giants?
Peterson.
Yeah, hey, came
Nice
up
job. You
with
got
Attaboy,
it. You
Gio.
got it. Here we go.
it. Jock Peterson, he's been on a roll
Jock
lately.
Peterson.
Jock Peterson has. You got it. You're good.
Yes, you are.
You're good. You're into
Yes,
the finals.
You are. Here we go. Question number 3. Let's see here. What Padres player holds the single-season franchise record of 70 stolen bases?
7-0.
Franchise.
Where's got Gio?
Go with Tony Gwynn.
He's going to go with T.
Stay there.
I'm going to go with Alan Wiggins.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry
Quickly.
about that, Gio.
Sorry, Gio.
Appreciate
Alan
you playing.
Wiggins, who played with Tony Gwynn, was the leadoff hitter on the 1984 World Series team.
And also stole a bunch of bases.
Wiggins was fast. Yes, he was.
All right, let's get to our next contestant, which will be Benoit.
Benoit.
Hello, Benoit.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah. First time player.
We're rolling them in today. That's good. I love this first time player. That means everybody wants to get into this and have some fun. That's good.
All right, here we go. Question number 2.
Number 2.
The Padres won 8 straight series, but lost that streak in Denver to the Rockies. Prior to that, what team won the last series over the Padres?
Before the series started, before the streak started.
Yeah.
I got you.
Who was the last team to win before?
I got you, Skraby.
Oh man, I'm just gonna go with. Was it the Mariners?
Mariners.
The Mariners.
They did win. That's not it. Stay there.
It was right before the All-Star break. Braves.
Sorry, Benoit.
Sure.
I like your name.
It's just before the break. Yeah, sorry, Benoit. But thanks for playing.
Yep.
Make sure you play again, man. Why
Yeah,
not?
sure.
You can win the next one. You never know.
All
now
right.
that you've got your feet wet,
Yes.
move on. Scrab.
Here we go to Bert. Hello, Bert.
Gentlemen,
Hello, Bert. How are you?
excellent. Thank you for asking.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1.
Let's play ball.
Coming into today, who has received the most walks in baseball?
What player?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a guess. Is this a number 1?
Coming in today,
This
most
is.
walks in baseball is going to be.
Gonna need an answer.
I'm just going to go Juan Soto. I know it's not though.
It is.
It is. How about
It
that?
is Juan Soto.
What?
You nailed it, Bert. Juan Soto.
I thought it was in the National League.
Nobody can
No.
outwalk Juan Soto.
No, he has 104
All right.
walks. Aaron
He is-
Judge, though, has 102. So the
Yeah.
walk streak is the most walk streak for Juan Soto is in danger, Chris.
Well, has he won most walks a few years in a row?
I think he's like one of the first players under the age of something to do it so many years.
He's
in
the
a row.
greatest walker of all time.
Not speed walker though.
No,
we
he can't.
got,
He
we got
can't
the
put him in the
Olympics for that.
Yeah, he can't be in the Olympics.
All right, here we go, Bert. Question number 2.
Good job, Bert. Good job.
Who currently leads all of Major League Baseball with a .349 batting average?
Shohei.
Shohei Ohtani.
Unfortunately, I think he's under 290 now, maybe?
There's nobody in the National League. As a matter of fact, I think Arise was the only National League player over 300 for a while. I'm pretty sure this is a self-serving question
it was
for your
written by
own guy.
It was written by Adam.
For your own guy, Bobby Witt Jr.
Sorry, Bert.
Sorry, Bert. Very good on the first one, though. Well
Yeah,
done.
that was good.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt Jr., 349.
Bobby Witt Jr.'s having he hit like 500 in the month of July, didn't he, or something?
It was close
It was
to 500.
ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
He didn't make an out for like a month.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr.'s having he is mashing for the Royals.
He's one of those guys, the prospects, where he worked out really well.
That's right. He's one of the highly touted guys that they were correct about.
Let's go to our next contestant, Craig. Hello, Craig.
Hello.
Hey, Craig.
Hello, how's it
Welcome
going?
to it.
Good, good. This is not Craig Elston, though, right?
No.
Okay.
If it was, we wouldn't let you on. So.
Well, no. Elston knows his trivia, but he can't win the prize, so it would be,
It would kind of be self-serving to have one of our other hosts on the trivia here.
Maybe. All right, here we go, Craig. Question number 1. This is kind of a hard first question, but it's the first question you get. The 2014 Winter Olympics were held in which Russian city?
No, Helsinki.
Helsinki, Russia.
It's lovely this time of year.
Yes, moving over from Finland, where it actually
I think
is.
Chris knows this.
Sochi? Yeah.
Nice
Sorry
job.
about that.
Nice job.
Craig. Sochi. Was it Sochi or Sochi?
Sochi.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that, Craig, but thanks. All right. Everybody's playing well. It's a good solid game today.
All right. We have one more contestant before we go tiebreaker.
You're so tough on that.
Roll the die, please.
Just because you just
I'm running out of questions. That's what I'm doing.
I know. 4.
4 is Gilberto. Hello, Gilberto.
That was by chance. I don't want anybody thinking I'm cheating for Gilberto.
Hola, muchachos, ¿cómo están?
Muy bien. By the way, Gilberto, just so you know, if it was up to me, I would cheat for you, but I didn't cheat for you. The dice just came up your way there.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Guys, I'm going to the game tonight, okay?
All right.
Oh, have fun. Make sure you cheer
Enjoy.
very loud for the Padres, okay?
Gilberto wants a good pennant race.
The player that I want, that I love to see every time I go to the ballpark, is the next Rookie of the Year, Jackson Merrill.
Yes.
I'll
Love
tell
it.
you.
It's amazing.
Tony did not get so excited about my story of him rounding the second base bag yesterday.
Well,
but I was really impressed by that because most guys just pull into second and, they're really happy with their double. But he was really thinking about third base. And I just think that just another level of, how keen he is as a player.
Yeah.
And how tuned in he is to trying to, make it happen.
I do know that Tony, I think that was a comment that that hit with more of the non-professional baseball people, just because it is something that we don't really think about. As a baseball player, you probably should think about that all the time.
You should. But
you
a
don't.
lot of guys don't. You watch a lot of guys just coast into second base with a double, and it's it's fine. Nobody complains about it.
Yeah. All right. Gilberto?
One thing about Merrill, he anticipates a lot of things. He plays like a 5-year, 10-year veteran.
He is wise beyond his years, Gilberto.
Oh, yeah. I hope he keeps his edge because he can be a very, very special player. And why not? I'm gonna throw it in there, guys. If he keeps it up the way he's going, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Oh boy!
If he doesn't get hurt.
That means Skraby and I get to go to Cooperstown and interview him. So I hope you're right.
In 35 years,
if we make it.
Okay. I'm gonna back off on the Hall of Famer talk, but I do love me some Jackson Merrill. That is for sure. Gilberto, here we go. Question number 1. Who currently leads all of Major League Baseball with a 2.49 ERA?
Skubal? Eric Skubal?
Correct.
Nice attaboy, Gilberto.
Here we go.
By the way, that's a really lousy ERA.
2.49? Yeah.
To lead baseball.
You think it should be lower?
Yes, somebody should be in at least 2.2. Come on.
Okay, wow.
Nobody is.
Splitting hairs over here.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Which NFL wide receiver has a streak of 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons to start their career? Yeah.
Current NFL receiver?
Yes. Streak of 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Wow, 10 years. I cannot think who could it be. 10 years. I don't think he has played 10 years, but I have to go with Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek. Oh, he got the buzzer.
Stay there, Gilberto.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot, and I don't think he's played 10 years either. But I'm going to give it a shot and go with Devontae Adams.
Wow.
Man.
It was actually Tampa Bay's own Mike Evans.
Wow, Mike Evans. Yeah, very good. I think I actually heard that last year. I just didn't remember.
I think they forced him the ball to get him that 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, he might have been
year.
hurting, but he may. Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Fair question. And correct question by
Thank you.
Which is most important.
Okay. Here we go, Gilberto. Question number 3.
For the title.
What year did the NBA add the three-point line?
Wow. Man.
Ooh, boy, that's a
Three-point
tough
line.
one.
That's
man.
back in the 90s. The 90s, 80s, no, 82?
82.
82.
He says.
He says.
Stay there.
God, I just don't know. 79.
Are you kidding me?
Ah!
I'm sorry, Hilberto.
Hilberto, I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm good. You know, sorry. What can I tell you?
All right.
Good.
We're going tiebreaker. I have Jock Peterson's page up, so we're going to do Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson. Today.
All right. Here we go. Let's get to our. Oh, you're doing that.
David, Mission Bay.
David in Mission Bay. David, have you ever played the tiebreaker before? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you have. So I don't need to explain it and mess it up for you. Chris?
Yes.
No.
Okay. How many home runs has Jock Peterson hit in his career?
In his career.
Coming into today.
All right, he might have already hit one today.
Yeah.
He's been hot lately. How many years has he played now? About 10?
Oh,
8?
he has played. Hold on.
Hold
11.
on. 11 years for Jock.
Yep, 7 with the Dodgers, 2 with
Really?
the Giants, 1 with the Diamondbacks.
Seems like he hits
Cubs,
about 20
Braves.
home runs a year, but it doesn't seem like he's got 200 career home runs. That seems like too many. So I'm going to say 175.
175. David, is the actual answer higher or lower?
I'm going to go lower.
Lower. Sorry, David, that is
Boy.
not correct.
What
He
was it?
had coming into today 206.
He's over 200.
Yeah, he is.
Man.
He's hit 20 home runs this year.
Yeah, 20 this year.
I guess so.
He hits 20 every year, most
He
years,
hit
and that's
20
why I thought it would be over 200, but I don't remember the celebration.
2019, he hit 36.
Jock Peterson, better slugger. But what's his career batting average? About 210.
241.
That's higher than I would have thought.
All right, let's get to our next contestant. We'll go to John in San Diego. Hello, John.
Hey, John. Hello,
John.
Oh,
All
next,
right, we gotta go back.
we get another.
Let's go
one?
to Matthew.
Yep,
Matthew, are you there?
Wait till I roll the die. I get a kick out of the rolling.
Good
the
afternoon,
die.
gentlemen. How are you?
Good,
Very good, sir. Very good.
Here we go. You're playing the tiebreaker. Chris, how many... Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. How many triples has he had in his career?
In 8 years for Jock Peterson?
11 years.
11 years. I was going to jokingly say 11, like one a year. I'll say 20.
20.
He can't have more than 2 a year on average. I'll
Matthew,
say
is the
20.
actual answer higher or lower?
Higher.
Sorry about that, Matthew.
What is it?
17.
17. Oh, man.
I'm calling it. You have won today, Chris.
I'm the winner today.
Yeah, you're the winner today. We got to go to break.
Nobody qualifies today.
Not today.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
Take a break. Check
we
traffic.
did a full 15 minutes of this game. So
I did well. What can I tell you?
You
Today
did
was
do
my
well
day.
today,
We'll
yes.
give you another shot at it. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow
No,
we have like a
Thursday.
20-minute show. But Thursday we'll be back.
You know what? If you want to play Chris vs. the Fans live, please be in attendance at Casa Octavio, 10th and J at
You're
4
gonna call
p.m.
people out of the audience. Huh?
Yes, if you would like to play, make sure you're there just a little bit early. I will try to take some of you from the audience
Very
because I
nice
know
of
that
you.
people have asked for that before.
All right. Thursday will be your chance. We're broadcasting live at Casa Octavio, 10th and J, down next to Petco Park. Right now, we're broadcasting a traffic check.
From the
So Kimmy, he's going to go on the IL. That's not the good news, clearly, but the good news is it was a decision. Whether he would be able to come back 3 to 6 days. If it wasn't his throwing shoulder, it'd probably be a little more patient with him being able to be able to come back. But we didn't want to get into this. Let's try to, get him back, and then not be able to let it heal. So we just made the decision with him that the 10 days made sense. Who's to say it won't go past 10 days? But we're optimistic it won't, or too much further than that. But anyway, he's going on the 10-day IL, and we're going to bring up Matt Batten.
There's the news. Came down about an hour and a half ago. Yes, Ha-Seong Kim was hurt on Sunday in Colorado, and he's not going to play for a while. 10-day IL, shoulder injury. They're not really saying what it actually is, right? Strained, jammed, whatever. Shoulder injury.
Yes.
Just go with that.
Yes.
The one part of that I want to point out that you should pay closer attention to is the part where at the very end he said, it could potentially go a little longer than that. We hope not, but it could. 90% of the time, it goes a little longer than that.
Yeah, I don't feel good with that comment.
I don't either. So I'm just saying, I hope he's back in 10 days. I'll be surprised if he's back in 10 days.
And if they can keep it up,
so
let's say it this way: he's going to be missed on defense, but he's not going to be missed on offense.
Offensively, he hasn't contributed a whole lot. He's hit 1 home run since June 22nd. His average is down in the 220s.
If that padding in Miami was a little bit fixed,
he'd have 2 home runs. He'd have 2 home runs. Look, Ha-Seong's not had a great year offensively, and he hasn't played as well defensively as he did last year. That doesn't mean he's still not a good defensive player. And you're right, they're going to miss him. Cronenworth, I believe, will end up moving to shortstop, and Arise and Solano will share first base with the other going to DH. But for tonight, Tyler Wade gets another start at shortstop. This hour, 97.3 The Fan, is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com. All right, short but powerful segment there,
yes,
Skraby.
Very powerful.
With the Ha-Seong Kim news.
It's quite unfortunate. But
it is.
You kind of are a little bit happy, though, aren't you? You've been calling for Ha-Seong Kim to take a
I'm never happy to see a
seat.
guy. I know. I'm not the biggest Ha-Seong Kim fan, you know that, but I'm not a fan of losing any player when I'm trying to make a playoff drive.
Especially a guy who's been starting all year.
And a guy that is certainly capable of, heating up again and starting to contribute, more than he has been.
And according to Bradford Doolittle, he's a great base runner. So,
according to Bradford Doolittle, he's one of the most underrated players in the league,
which is probably true
because of his base running. I got a tweet last night from somebody who said, "What is Bradford Doolittle? A satire writer?" The guy was like, the stuff that he writes is making no sense at all.
Yeah, it's very strange, I gotta say.
How's our progress going on getting him on the show?
It's not going well, Chris.
I think you should stay on it just for fun.
I'm going to.
Just say, Bradford, it's gotten to the point where you have to come on, man. Your honor is at stake.
I don't think he... I don't know. I'm not going to put words in his mouth.
No, don't put words in his mouth. Although I think maybe he would come out sounding better if you did.
You've done that for him.
That's right. No, he did it to himself.
Well, yes, he did. But
I didn't rank Jackson Merrill the 6th best rookie. He did.
Okay.
Don't blame me for that.
I'm not going to. You're right.
Big Five is next on Gwynn and Chris.
When the Padres make history, it happens on 97.3 The Fan.
Throw to first. That is a no-hitter, and that is history. Joe
All right, 4:37 the time. Don't forget Thursday, just a couple of days away, Skraby and I will be out at Casa Octavio, 10th and J, right across from Petco Park. And we're going to be giving away 3 pairs of tickets to that night's Padres-Mets game. So circle it on your calendar. Just 2 days away, this Thursday at 2 o'clock, we will broadcast the show live, Casa Octavio. We certainly invite you to join us. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Mr. Skraby, and a check of traffic with a very powerhouse, I must say, today, Big Five.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. Got a number of problems this time around. Westbound side of the 8 near Mission Gorge, we have reports of a stalled car in the center divide. Also traveling on eastbound 52, just past the 805, collision involving a couple vehicles. One's in the center divide, one over to the right shoulder. Heading north on the 15 past Deer Springs Road, collision over the right shoulder. And South 5 Coastline just before Cassidy Street, a collision not showing the lanes are blocked. Oh, and we got this crash on the Rancho Santa Fe on-ramp to westbound 78. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. Want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you, Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, guys, before we get started, I want to remind everyone to join us on Thursday, August 22nd at 2 p.m. for a live broadcast at Casa Octavio on 10th and J across from Petco Park. Chris and I are going to be giving away 3 pairs of tickets to that night's Padres-Mets game. That's right, that night's Padres-Mets game, 3 pairs of tickets, and that is, again, this Thursday beginning at 2 p.m. at Casa Octavio on 10th and J downtown. Chris and I will be there. Tony will be on the show, but he will be at Petco Park, so hope to see everyone there.
Everybody better get down there, take the day off Thursday, come on down, win some Padre tickets, and have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 5.
Boom, Tony says. Michael King struggled in the first 2 innings last night, but was able to turn it around and hang tough, even if he didn't have his best outing. The Padres pulled him after 6 innings, 85 pitches, and he reached, on the season, 141 1/3 innings with his start last night, which is 36 2/3 more than his previous career high set last year at the Yankees. And even further, 20 innings shy of his minor league high set across 3 levels in 2018. So they saved an inning for King where they could last night instead of leaving him in. Tony, do you agree with the decision to remove him from the game?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the decision. Yeah, 85 pitches, got through 6 innings. He had to really work through the first, I'd say, 3 innings? First 2 innings, he had to really kind of battle. Control still wasn't quite there in the third. So those are a lot of high stretch pitches. That's a different 85 pitches than, some of his other starts where he's come out early. So, yeah, in this case, I don't know that they were necessarily shaving anything because he had some high stress pitches there early. So, yeah, I agree with the decision.
Chris?
If I had Jason Adam and Tanner Scott and Robert Suarez, I'd take everybody out after 6 innings, honestly. Especially Jason Adam. I don't know. Did he throw an immaculate inning? I know he didn't, but he struck out those 3 twin batters so easily. It was almost as if they weren't major league players. And, look, the Padres pitching right now is so good in the bullpen that they're turning everything into a 6-inning game. And I'm really starting to believe as we go forward, knock on wood, that they're going to be really tough to beat in October. If they can get a couple of runs out in front, with this bullpen right now, Mike Schilt has so many options. And, another option was to stay with Michael King, but it's just you got better guys that can come in. It's really great, problem and issues to have right now. And I want to say one more thing about this innings thing with Michael King and Matt Waldron and, all of these guys that supposedly can't pitch more innings than they ever have before. Yes, they can. Apparently they can. We've seen it on more than one occasion now. I mean, Garrett Crochet, we don't like this guy, but he's pitched way more innings than he ever did before. King's the same way. It's quite amazing that these pitchers are capable of doing when they're not babied all the time.
Well, Michael King wanted to go 180 innings. That was his preseason goal.
I mean, Seth Lugo has gone from a reliever to
Legit
a 180 inning guy to maybe winning the Cy Young. Yeah, that's not bad in 2 years for a guy that supposedly couldn't pitch more than 60 innings. So, anyway, I just wanted to get that in.
Okay. You feel better?
A little.
Okay. A little.
Number 4.
We've talked many times about Major League Baseball and whether or not they are ever going to turn their back on the A's and A's leadership. It didn't seem likely that they would turn their back on John Fisher and the A's, but there have been some comments made lately that really have people asking, are they starting to take the turn on John Fisher? Phillies managing partner John Middleton said to The Athletic, "We have an obligation. We are accountable to the fans and to the city. If you don't approach it that way, you shouldn't be an owner, in my opinion." So, Chris, you're up first. Do you think the owners are going to eventually vote John Fisher out?
In a wonderful world, they probably would, and they would throw Dick Monfort out with him.
He's not on the chopping block.
Well, look, I mean, the Padres and their fans should be thrilled about this because Dick Monfort is a team you can automatically beat every year. But I don't think that they'll ever, kick him out. Owners, they're competitive, and when you see an easy mark out there that's willing to give you money and not compete, why would you want to move on from that person? That's one less owner that you have to concern yourself with, performing better than. There's been lousy owners in baseball throughout history. I mean, Marge Schott with the Reds. I mean, there's so many.
I just read something about her. She was so mad after they lost that she wouldn't pay for like a postseason party.
Let me tell you something.
Team.
This lady was crazy. There's been a lot of them, and she just came to mind first. But, they're all putting their money in. They all have a stake. They're in a billionaires boys/women's club, and so I don't think they'll ever do anything. But I'm glad to hear this Phillies owner say what he said. I just don't think that all 30 owners are held accountable to that.
Tony, do you think the owners are going to eventually vote John Fisher out?
Absolutely not. They're not even thinking about it, actually. This is just a one-off comment. It certainly takes, I think it's the majority of owners to vote. I think it's even more than the majority.
I think it's 75%.
Yeah, so that means a whole bunch of owners besides this one would have to jump in and be like, yeah, we're done. So, nope, don't think it's going to happen. I don't know that it's ever happened in baseball.
I can't recall it ever happening. And there's been this sounds hard to believe. There's been worse owners than John Fisher.
Way worse owners.
And we've had a couple of them in San Diego, if you really want to know the truth. So,
I guess I did. Thank you for enlightening me.
You're welcome, sir.
Number 3.
All right, the NFL has made its NFL Sunday ticket service available on the Apple App Store. You're going to have to pay $679.99 if you would like access to that, with an option to add NFL Red Zone. If you want NFL Red Zone for the whole package, you're paying $739.99. Now, the league.
Wait, say that again?
So if you just want the games, $679.99. You want the games and Red Zone, $739.99.
What if I just want Red Zone? Can I pay $60 only?
It wasn't in the article that I read.
It's almost a full rack for.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's $60 more if I'm doing my math correctly.
No, but he's talking about the rack for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm saying like $1,000, almost $1,000 for.
Yeah, just about. By the time you figure it all out.
Stop blaming the NFL guys, because the
I'm not
league
blaming
came out
anybody.
and said the pricing isn't its business. Quote, the NFL does not control the pricing of Sunday Ticket and does not set or receive any additional fees associated with its sale, end quote. Now, here's where the trick is. The Apple App Store actually takes 30% of what apps make, and many are thinking the NFL is okay with these prices because it will recoup the 30% fee with the outrageous prices. So, Tony, you've already kind of answered this. Is this price just right, too high, or too low?
It's too high. Did they just get sued for this?
Yeah, but the decision was reversed, and
that's because the juries didn't follow directions. It seems like
someone's pocket got a little heavier too. Judge.
Yeah, no, this is too much. That's
much.
a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
That's more than it was last year, wasn't it?
Well, this is specifically for the Apple App Store, so it could be priced differently elsewhere.
Yeah. Thank God I don't have to go through the Apple App Store. That's a tough one to justify.
Thank God I don't know how to work it. Even if I had this,
good point.
If I had the $750, I couldn't purchase it because I wouldn't know how to work it.
Chris?
Well, it's ridiculously high, but I mean, isn't this a supply and demand world? And won't people pay it? I mean, that's the problem. If absolutely, I mean, I'm just guessing here. But if absolutely nobody bought it, like they had no sales, they would probably have to bring the price down a little bit. But
or they wouldn't even offer it.
Yeah, right. But they're not going to have to bring the price down because
we're all going to keep buying it.
We're all going to keep buying it. So, yeah, I think it's absurd, but from their part, it's makes sense. I guess it's what you can get.
I used to be
we would have to call their bluff, basically.
Yeah,
and we won't.
We won't.
I'm not going to spend a dime.
I mean, they could honestly raise Scott Hansen and the Red Zone to $500 a season, and I would go get $500 and pay it.
Okay,
that's how badly I want to watch Red Zone, and I need to watch Red Zone.
They're going to charge you $750. Are you paying it?
Yes, I probably would. I know. I'm speaking for all the other. I'm speaking for all the other idiots out there who are going to pay for the the Apple app. I mean,
tell you
this
what,
is what we do.
I know at like the halfway point they lower the price for you. I might hold out if I had to do the 800. Just on principle, I think I might have to hold out until the price comes down because there's not as many games.
What did I have to pay to watch one Miami-Kansas City playoff game? $30 plus all the bonus months they charged me for still having Peacock when I didn't even have it?
Yes, I do remember this.
And I happily paid it. This is what we're going to do, and this is why
for a guy who doesn't like to waste money, this seems like you're wasting money.
Well, it's not. This is a need for me, Skraby. I need to watch this stuff.
This is an expensive fix
It is. Look, I don't have a lot of other addictions, so, I can afford this one. But this is why I'm saying, and I'm trying to, go out on a limb all the time, and you don't let, you kind of give me a hard time.
What?
What I'm trying to say is I don't want the world of football and sports to go streaming because I don't want us to have to pay these ridiculous prices. I want it to stay on free TV where we can all see it. That's what I'm rooting for.
So the
but I know that I can't, keep it from happening. That's all.
All right. You feel better now after that one?
A little.
Okay. This is more of a therapy session.
I know. By the time they get to the end of this, I'm going to be in good shape.
An unexpected therapy session.
Number 2.
Last week, Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy told players to stop asking for more NIL money. Today, he endorsed a program asking fans to provide more NIL money. Oklahoma State announced, I think, a pretty good idea. Today, they announced that players' football helmets this fall will have QR codes that will link back to a campaign for name, image, and likeness fundraising. The codes are going to be 1.5 square inches and placed on the back of the players' helmets. So they're saying you could pause the TV on a close-up, and I'm thinking if players were smart, they would just point the camera to the QR code after they do something great. So that you scan the code, it'll be taken to a donation page, and you can make a donation to that player. Chris, do you like this idea?
I don't like any of it.
What?
Do you?
At least they're making money off of what they're doing on the field. Some guy scores a touchdown. I want to give this kid $100.
Let me revise my statement. I like the fact that these kids are finally getting some money. I don't like how it has gotten completely and wildly out of control. And I don't know what I can do to rein it back in.
Nothing. That's the answer.
You're right. So I'm just going to have to watch it all unfold. And I understand that every college athlete everywhere now is trying to maximize the amount of money they can make while they're playing college sports. And I suppose that's a good thing. I just wish there was a better way to, have some sort of governing, or a governator on, all of the money that's flowing all over the place.
Arnold Schwarzenegger needs to step in?
The gubernator. But I just, this is the latest. I guess it's a good idea. I don't know what guy. I have no idea what innovative players are going to do to get their helmets on TV though. And eventually they're going to stop playing the game altogether and just run around waving their helmets at the camera.
They have to do something in the game.
Who
for them
says
to
they
get
have to do something
No,
good?
they actually
What if I
don't.
want to? What if I want to reward a guy for missing a block?
Then go ahead.
Thank you. Well, you
But
just
good
said
luck
he's
trying
got
to find his QR code.
Well, you just said that they got to do something to get rewarded. They don't have to do anything to be
You're
rewarded.
right. You're right.
Just be on
you would
TV.
Think about that. Tony, do you like this idea?
Yeah, I think it's creative. I like the QR code. It's coming from the insane fans that are watching these games anyway, and they feel like throwing a $5 donation, a $100 donation. Have at it. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like the idea. As ungoverned as this world
ungovernated,
Tony, it's ungoverned.
as this whole thing is right now, I don't know that it'll stay that way. I think there's a lot of things. There's going to be some growing pains, Noob, and it sucks to watch it go down the way it's going down. But I think at some point they'll find a sweet spot, and hopefully it'll be run better.
Hope you're right. Can I add another suggestion?
Yes, this is the Chris therapy session.
It is. Can I add another suggestion?
Sure.
Since Tony thinks it's a pretty good idea, and it's maybe it is.
Well, when I thought it was a good idea, you didn't think it was a good idea.
I didn't listen to you. But here's my thing. What if you can point the camera at the QR code, and if the guy fumbles, you can take $10 out of his account?
I don't like it.
No.
I mean, maybe the $10 you put in, you can't just be taking money out of his account. It's like stealing.
It just has like a running bank total during the game.
That's right. That's right. And then at the end of the game, the sideline reporter reports who ends up with the best game and the most money.
Wow.
That would finally give the support.
And then you can bet on that too. It's
finally give the sideline reporter something reasonable to do. Yeah.
All right, Chris is on a good one today. I love it.
Number 1.
Have you guys ever heard of raw dogging? No, Chris says no.
That's a negative.
Tony says, what? Well, it's actually, when you sit on a flight and you see how long you can go on the flight with zero entertainment, that's one of the ways that phrase is described.
Okay.
I knew exactly what I was doing when I went into this.
What?
Yeah, Tony was like, oh! I'm going to have to explain to Chris in the break. This is actually what some TikTokers are doing now. So they take a long flight, and they do not use any source of entertainment. They just sit there. Some do it for 14 hours. Some do it for 5 hours. One person I saw even did it from L.A. to Sydney, Australia, which is insane to me. So, Tony, what's the most time you could go without any entertainment on a flight?
Can we just, before he answers, is there a reason that these people are doing this?
It's just what people are doing now.
It's the new challenge?
Yes,
new
the new
TikTok
challenge, yes.
Well, let me ask you this. They're not documenting because that's a form of entertainment, isn't it? Like, they can't document not doing anything.
Fantastic point. Yeah, but that's all I see is them documenting them doing nothing.
So if I sign on,
we'll get to you.
Ask
so
a question.
Excited! I did ask the question.
Well, I'm just saying
Tony needs to answer it.
He will. He'll have plenty of time. But if so and so raw dogs for 13 hours, well, you're the one that invented the term.
I didn't invent the term.
You did in my mind.
Okay. All right, back to Tony.
But what are the TikTok viewers looking at?
They're just looking at them basically in their seats saying, like, here's the map, here's how long I've gone without any sort of entertainment. I've just been staring at the seat in front of me. Tony, how long could you go without entertainment?
First of all, I kind of like this challenge. It'll open up some of these kids that haven't ever had no entertainment before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we all used to have to sit in the car for a long time. Like
no iPads.
Just looking at the trees and the highway going by you. That was
playing
all
I
we
Spy.
had. Yeah, the makeup game.
Punch Buggy.
That's how those games were invented. However, I would be able to last as long as I could sleep.
Oh, I actually thought of that. You're right. So maybe like
I don't
4
need
hours?
entertainment clearly if I'm asleep. So if I can just, sleep for however long the flight is, I can make it work. Other than that, I don't know how good I'd be now.
There was one flight I took when I used to fly a lot for work, and I knew that it was a brand new plane, and it said on my ticket, no in-flight entertainment services. installed. So I brought my iPad and everything. There were at least 100 people that had no idea. They just had to stare at their seat for
They're
like the
pissed,
6-hour flight from San Diego to New York. It was great. Chris.
Yes.
How long could you go without any entertainment on a flight?
I can daydream for a lot longer than most people, and I believe, and I think you probably know that just by looking at me. I think that daydreaming is an underused skill.
I daydream all the time.
Facts.
Tony brought it up. I mean, these kids could use a little time staring out the window and just thinking about what they want to accomplish and what they
100%.
want to do and how they can be better people. I think we all could use a little more daydreaming, so maybe this is, by accident, a good invention.
All right, I like your answer, Chris.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, if someone actually did this from L.A. to Sydney, they need their head checked because
that might be a little
prison
long.
sentence.
That's a little much.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the Big Five. When we get back, Game 2, we'll set you up for that between the Padres and the Twins here on 97.3 The Fan.
My friend Rob Manfred. Always be revered on this show, Rob. Any port in a storm, pal. You need to latch on somewhere. Baseball ownership's giving you a tough time there. As commissioner, just call us.
Come on over.
We'll take great care of you. We'll have a nice vodka and cranberry waiting for you. Skraby. 5:03 is the time. Welcome back. Happy hour time here on Gwynn and Chris. Crisello, of course, Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park. He's getting ready for the call tonight. He'll be on television with Jesse Agler. Radio side, it will be, once again, the Golden Tones of Sammy Levitt.
That's right.
Working alongside Bob Scanlon. Matt Skraby will handle the pregame show. We should pass along our best, which I think we've already done, but I want to do again. Our best to Don Orsillo and his family for the passing of his mother over the weekend. And you talk about a pro's pro. I mean, Don Orsillo has been broadcasting games, since this happened. And, you feel for anybody, and family, having to go through these things. A lot of times broadcasting a game, people say, how do you do it? I think sometimes it's, almost good. It's a getaway for you for a couple of hours.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think for Don, but, he obviously has gone back to Boston to take care of matters there. And we wish him and everybody in the Orsillo family the best. All right, big news of the day, Ha-Seong Kim, injured list, 10-day IL. And Mike Schilt said that, could be longer. We kind of hope not. Mike Schilt puts a pretty positive spin on everything, and he tried to put as positive a spin as he could on this. Try to get us, hopefully to think that this won't be a big thing, a big deal. I think it is a deal. Padres are, going to be much better defensively with Ha-Seong Kim at shortstop, but they're not going to have him at least till the end of the month, right? That's a 10-day, August 30th. I'd say end of the month. So Padres, they've been dealing with this stuff all year, right? Bogarts was out for a long time. Manny started the year hurt.
Yeah, Fernando's been out forever.
Fernando's still out. He's been out. Fernando's been out since, how long he's been out now? June 21st.
I know. I'm starting
to get... It's a long time. That's 2 straight months. And he's really not, from what I can tell, ramping up to get back into action. I mean, some people have described Fernando's injury to me as basically a broken leg.
Yeah.
Just not the way we all think of it in the sense of a broken leg.
You can't
but
see the break.
Same kind of thing. So, we keep hearing Fernando will be back in September, but it's hard to imagine him actually being back in September when he's not even starting to really ramp up anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, they've been out Musgrove for a while. Darvish still, and we don't know. The Padres have kind of survived all of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and believe that they can survive Ha-Seong Kim for 10 days.
I think so. Are you starting to get a little worried?
But 2
like
weeks,
Fernando...
3 weeks, 4 weeks, that could hurt Ha-Seong Kim. I'm telling you, it could hurt.
Yes, it could. Yeah. Are you starting to get a little worried though that Fernando is not?
You're not going to make it back at all?
Yeah, because I am. A little bit. But the only thing, last week before I
Are you worried that, like, the opening game of the playoff, Bryce Johnson's going to be starting in right field?
Yes. Yes, I'll just say yes, because we need Fernando. But
yeah,
I heard, I can't remember which player was talking about Fernando coming back, but they had this, like, tense or tone like he was coming back soonish. So, I mean, if the players are
I've heard, so many different things, but what I've seen is not anything.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of going with.
No, that's true.
And until, he's out there, working out a little bit, doing a little running, fielding some ground balls, fly balls, hitting, with some passion in the cage. Yeah, I'm not so sure I don't know. I hope we get him back, of course, but it could be. We'll see.
I was called out because I'm so hard on people with injuries. Why am I not harder on Fernando Tatis Jr.? And
he's got a broken leg. Could that be the answer as to why you're not as hard on the guy?
Yeah, but I also
Because you're the reason, if you're just tuned in, the reason this came up is because I mentioned that Freddie Freeman is playing through a hairline fracture in his finger for the Dodgers, and Skraby said, big whoop.
Seriously.
Basically.
If he had a broken leg and he was playing through it, I'd be like, wow, this dude is dedicated.
Right. But
if
Luis Ariz is playing through a finger injury, and you're
torn thumb ligament.
So you think he's amazing, but Freddie Freeman's no big deal.
I was making fun of Freddie Freeman because he's a Dodger. Okay?
I see. People didn't take it that way.
No, I got in trouble.
They all came to the defense of Freddie Freeman,
which is the craziest thing in the world.
And they unloaded on Skraby on the chat.
I didn't know that Freddie Freeman was the only untouchable on the Dodgers.
He's untouchable.
Apparently.
Don't say anything about Freddie. Not on our show.
I just, I don't.
Yeah. So we'll see. Padres. Tyler Wade is playing shortstop tonight. Will they, start using Cronenworth there and putting Ariz on first base? I think so, but they haven't announced that that's what they're going to do. That's just my feeling. I don't think Tyler Wade will get to play shortstop each of the next 10 days.
I don't either, but if he starts getting on a hot streak, who knows?
This would be a good time for him to do that.
Very good.
Padre lineup tonight is all the same except for Campusano's catching. Higashioka is resting, and, of course, Tyler Wade is in there for Ha-Seong Kim. Pitching, Martin Perez. Minnesota pitching, Bailey Ober, 6'9". When you get to the stadium and he steps up on the mound, it's
intimidating.
It's even in the stands. Like, you're going to look at this and go, whoa.
Yeah. And by the time he's throwing the ball, he's already halfway there because of his stride.
That's what I used to think about Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson already threw harder than anybody, but he was also 6'10".
Yes.
So when Randy Johnson would step to home plate, he could almost just drop the ball in the catcher's mitt.
Yeah,
I mean, it just totally seemed unfair.
I know this is Little League I'm talking about, but the tall pitchers always scared me.
They scare you.
Because they could throw harder than anyone
They throw
else.
harder, and they don't really know where it's going. They got a lot of moving parts. Their body's flying all over the place.
Yeah, I agree with all of that.
I don't disagree. All right, one of the highlights for all of us last night was not on the field. One of the highlights for all of us was because of the absence of Don Orsillo. Sam Levitt got a chance to make his Major League Baseball broadcasting debut. Now, Sam has broadcast, I don't want to say hundreds of games.
I'm sure it's
at the minor league level.
Yes.
From outposts as Amarillo, El Paso, Fort Wayne, wherever he's been there. He's done it. But last night was a nice dream come true for him. I think we all felt really good about it. But he broadcast the Padre game last night. He and Bob Scanlon split the duties up in the radio booth. Anyway, Skraby and I thought for fun we'd play a little Rate the Radio call on some of Sammy's calls last night. So
now these were clipped by Frank, so you can you can blame him if there's not enough context.
All right, no, that's fine. But I'm
going to do the
good
tell
Padres calls. You got to do at least. Do you have the Jackson Merrill?
Of course.
Okay. All right, so we'll hear
Let's start with the Jackson Merrill 3-run double.
This was the big blow of the game last night
and
for
here
Sammy.
Is
Sammy's
Sammy
call.
Calling it.
0-2 on the way. Swinging a high fly ball into left center. Martin going back on the warning track. It one hops the fence. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Here comes Bogarts. He scores standing. It's a bases clearing double for Jackson Merrill. And the Padres jump in front. It's 5-2 in the third.
All right, Chris, 1 to 10, rate that radio call.
My goodness, that's a 10. That
Is
was
it?
right on the button. Maybe a 9 because he could have had just a. He could have had a tad more excitement.
Yes,
but he is so smooth and so. I mean, everything you need is right there.
He was describing left center on the warning track, one off the wall.
I'm gonna say I'll try to give one thing to Sam, and he's not listening, and he shouldn't be. He's got to get ready for the game tonight. The only thing I'd say, when that ball is hit last night, my first thought as a viewer at the stadium was that's a double. That's going to be 3 runs, and that's going to give us the lead. Sam, in his actual play-by-play there, didn't really let me know it was a double until the ball landed. I think he could have given me a little more hope with the inflection in his voice.
Okay. We're really, yeah.
But I'm being picky.
No, I get it.
What I'm saying is that because Jesse's really a master at this, Scully, the great announcers are masters at it. they almost tell you that it's going to be a double before they actually say the words, it's a double.
Was there any chance that this was going to be a home run?
No. And there was no chance it was going to be caught.
Okay.
It looked pretty clear like it was a double the minute he left his bat. I would have liked to hear just a little more hope in Sammy's voice there. Now, if the guy races over and steals it, then you can say that. Great catch. He saved a bases-clearing double. But, man, that's really smooth and good. Can I hear it again? Because just listen to how just mechanically correct this is.
0-2 on the way. Swinging a high fly ball into left center. Martin going back on the warning track. It one hops the fence. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Here comes Bogaerts. He scores standing. It's a bases clearing double for Jackson Merrill.
I actually think now that I hear it again, there is excitement in the voice enough for me, because I remember listening to this driving home last night, and I was like thinking, what's going to happen? But Sam's little bit of excitement, like, hey, this is looking good.
Yeah,
got me
you
to
heard
feel
some
like
of that.
It got me to feel like there was something like there was a long.
I thought the
fly
center
ball.
fielder, based on his call, center fielder could have easily just caught the ball on the warning track.
Yeah, that's true.
Based on that call, I would have had a little more enthusiasm while
Making
the
a
ball
high
was
fly
in
ball
play.
into left center. Martin going back on the warning track. It one hops the fence.
There we go.
Going back on the warning track, he catches it. Could have said the same, if he caught it.
Okay, we're really tearing apart Sam's call at this point.
All right, let's hear another one.
Sorry, Sam. We really did think you did a great job, and you
I
will
gave
do
him
a
a
great
10.
job.
What do you
Yes.
want me to do? Come on.
Let's do when Jason Adam caved the side in the 7th inning. Here he is.
Kicks in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Adam strikes out the side. Vasquez and Martin and Castro. 3 up, 3 down.
That's a hard call just because it's
Well
ending an
done.
inning, but it
But
is
it's
well
good.
done. It's well done. Here's the final call from
Final
Sam
out.
Levitt from last night.
Final
Here
out.
we go.
Pitch to Miranda. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Picked up by Wade. Throws to first in time, and the Padres win. Robert Flores shuts the door. Padres take this series opener against Minnesota. The final score, Padres 5 and the Twins 3.
All right, I'm going to say one thing on the last one.
Okay.
You're going to think I'm being picky. On the last out of the game, routine ground ball to short like that, I like it as a listener. If my broadcaster says ground ball to short, this should do it. Then says it's picked up and thrown to first base.
What did he say? Let me think. Let me hear it again.
Pitch to Miranda. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Picked up by Wade. Throws to first.
Okay, but
it's a small thing.
It is a small
but I
thing.
want to know that we're going to win that game a little bit before the throw is made, because everyone at the stadium was thinking, you know what, this game's over. He's just got to pick up the ball and throw it, which he did. Game over.
I'm not that technical.
I'm a little picky, but I love Sammy. He knows that.
Yes, and Sam, you did a great job. We'll continue doing a great job. And it was also his first time. He's gonna get smoother and more comfortable. I liked my favorite parts of the broadcast are where Sam's personality came out. Like, he was trying to read all these reads, and he was like, "Man, Dave Marcus is handing me so many orange pieces of paper." And him and Scan having a little back and forth was pretty good too.
Yeah,
So.
Dave Marcus says he drives a hard bargain up there in the booth, man. It's not all fun and games, Sammy. It's not all fun and games.
It's not, but Sammy did a great job.
Yes.
Someone said on the chat, let the man develop his own style, Chris.
I'm tough. What can I tell you?
You are tough, I guess.
All right, 5:17 the time. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, more Gwynn and Chris. Got one final segment, and we're going to talk some football. Brian Flores today responded to the comments from Tua Tagovailoa that he's a mean guy.
He's a terrible person is the
and an
quote.
awful person.
No, terrible person is the exact
Was that
language.
was the exact quote? We'll see what Brian Flores had to say in response to that after traffic.
From the 97
All right, one final segment here. Then we're going to turn it over to Skraby. Set things up for you on the Padre pregame show. Then Sam Levitt and his second game, broadcasting at the big league level with Bob Scanlon. They'll have the call tonight on radio. Tony and Jesse are on TV. And the Padres and the Twins. It's game 2 of the series. Padres won last night by a score of 5-3. Padres are, 3 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. The Diamondbacks are 4 back of the Dodgers. Diamondbacks are in action right now. And in the top of the 7th, they lead the Marlins 3-1. There you go.
Thanks.
Dodgers play later on against the Mariners. All right, Brian Flores today was back in the news. Former coach of Miami Dolphins. Former head coach for Tua Tagovailoa, in fact, for his first 2 seasons.
Yeah, and everybody thought he was a pretty good coach.
I did. I liked him. And, that's my club. But, they were a mediocre team under Flores. For 3 years, I think they finished right around 500 every time. 9-8, 8-9, that kind of thing. Tua was on a show in Miami last week.
The Dan Le Batard show.
Yeah. And said, Tua said Flores is basically, quote, a terrible person.
He said that, yes.
He did, and he went on to say, the guy used to just tell me I sucked. I didn't belong here. I shouldn't have been the number 1 guy. I didn't have the talent to get the job done. And he said, you hear that enough, you start to believe it. Went on to say that Mike McDaniel's kind of the opposite, tells me how great I am, and hopefully I'm starting to believe that. Well, there was a lot of comments on it before Brian Flores even spoke. I think among people, I saw Tom Brady was even a tad critical of Tua's comments.
Really? I did not see that.
And I, I'm a Dolphin guy here, but I didn't like him necessarily because, I don't know. It's a new day and age. I get it. We're supposed to, everybody wins a trophy now. And, you got to be nice to everybody. But I didn't mind it when I played sports, when my, coach said, hey, do better. Now, if the coach kept saying you suck, like using those words, I could understand how that could bother you after a while. But, I wasn't 100% behind Tua's comments. I don't know that they had to be made. Did they have to be made? Like, did Tua really need to do this to make himself look better?
No, I don't
to
think
explain why he struggled those 2 years?
I don't understand. I don't ever see Tua as being a guy who's doing something to make himself look better or anything like that. But I do think that Tua cares very much about his career, and I think he cares very much about the Dolphins fans, and he kind of wanted to tell people, hey, this is what I was dealing with for the first 2 years. Now, are his comments, do I have a problem with his comments? You're wading into some weird waters when you call someone a terrible person, and that's just a fact. You're going to have to explain yourself. You're going to have to deal with that. But if he felt that way, and Brian Flores has made him feel that way for the past few years, then I have no problems with him making these comments.
Well, he made them. And today, Brian Flores, who is now a defensive coach with the Minnesota Vikings, had his response. And it was a news conference that lasted almost 20 minutes. He was flanked by 2 of his defensive players for the Vikings, a safety, Josh Metellus, and a defensive lineman, Harrison Phillips. They went up with Flores and stood by his side as he spoke.
All right, well, I have a problem with that.
Okay, Flores said that meant a lot, getting a lot of support from them. Flores, I thought, handled this really well.
Me too.
Flores said, I'm genuinely happy for the success that Tua has had, and I really wish him nothing but the best. That's what he opened with. He went on to basically say, I think part of coaching is correcting. And he goes, I'm always going to correct. I'm always going to have a high standard. And I think, look, I've done a lot of reflecting on the situation in communications. There's things I could have done better. In a lot of ways, it sounds like Flores is, I don't want to say he's admitting that he said, hey, Tua, you suck. But I think he might be admitting that maybe he was a little too negative. Yeah, I think he was saying maybe I was a little too negative. His voice was shaking a little bit during his press conference today, so it was a bit emotional for him. He said, over the long haul, I think I've had a lot of great relationships with players, career people in the league. I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm also going to be looking to get better. I'm happy with that. If whatever Tua Tagovailoa might have said, jogged a little something in Brian Flores to where he looks in the mirror and says, you know what, I can do better. So be it. Maybe this whole thing from Tua will be beneficial to everybody in the long run.
Yeah, I think so, actually.
The Viking players who were there, Metellus, was talking about, or Phillips rather, Harrison Phillips was saying, he'd kind of heard through the grapevine that Flores was kind of a tough guy to deal with, etc. Wasn't sure what to expect when Flores came to Minnesota. But he said first thing Flores did when he came to Minnesota is invited everybody over to meet his family, and all the defense came over. And Phillips says that, he's been nothing but a, terrific guy, and the players love playing for him. And Metellus said that we love him. I know everybody else has their own opinion, but as long as he's been a Viking, he's been good to the team.
I think that's a great thing that he's changed and all that. But the reason I said I have a problem with those guys standing up for him is because they were not there during that time that I'm
in
aware
Miami.
Of. In Miami, they have zero idea what Tua went through unless they were on the team or in that room. And Brian Flores, I'm very happy that he's turning it around and, he's doing things to be better now. But again, this is a phrase that people hate, but this is Tua's truth to him, is that Brian Flores was mad. I had a boss before this radio job that I will gladly call him a terrible person, because he is a terrible person, and it really did affect me.
Let's be
it's
clear.
Not Adam. It's
no.
not
Let's
Adam.
be clear. This is a before this job.
Radio in general.
Right.
And this person was a bully. One of the biggest bullies I've ever encountered in my life.
There are people like
and
that.
It affected me, Chris. I worked there for almost 5 years.
Sure.
And it still to this day, some things that I think about make me mad. So I understand where Tua's coming from, and I kind of just did call that person out, but no one knows who that person is. That's the big difference.
Well, I think this. If I'm Tua, other than unburdening something a little bit, I don't see how what I said, if I'm saying that, can be beneficial other than to just rip a guy.
Yeah.
But maybe he was saying it, as you said, as a way of trying to, just tell Dolphin fans this is what it's been like.
Because he's been hearing the whole conversation about Justin Herbert and Tua.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert, Peyton Manning, by the way, released his quarterback top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same people you would expect. Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and all these guys. And Justin Herbert. And I'm like, why does Justin Herbert make every top 5 list? When's he going to win a game?
I kind of trust Peyton, though.
I do, too. But I'm just saying, everyone loves Justin Herbert. But the bottom line is I think there's kind of a happy ending to this at the moment, because Brian Flores seems like he took all of this the right way, looked right into the mirror and said, you know what, I may not agree with it, but somebody thought that about me, so I need to do better.
Yeah.
And that's a good lesson, I think, for
Great
everyone.
Lesson.
Yeah.
And I think that Brian Flores is a big man for being
He's
able to
stand-up
admit
guy.
that.
Stand-up guy for sure. All right, another stand-up guy is coming up next. Even though he'll be sitting during the pregame show, that's Mr. Skraby. For Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello. Stay tuned after that for Padres Twins baseball and the golden tones of Sam Levitt. We're back tomorrow at 2 o'clock, but don't blink. You might miss us. It's a quick one tomorrow, so be on time. Enjoy the rest of this evening and baseball, everybody.